Sponsored by Kelly's Pizza and Grill, McNally's Party Store, McBain Rural Agricultural School, McBain Auto Service, High Flow Performance, Crandall Precision, McBain Family Pharmacy, Jesse's House Daycare, Holton's LP Gas, Falmouth Co-op, Wexford Misaki Career Technical Center, Amp Wireless and Pfluger Mechanical, High Point Cadillac GMC, Judy K. Gildy Photography, McBain Hardware, Northern Trucking Services, LC Materials, Burkholder Family Funeral Home, Baker College, Ebel's Hardware, and Ebel's General Store, Dawn's Catering. And your official streaming sponsor, McLean Transmissions. Jay Simon and Gary Vanna are your hosts, and fellas, you're on the air.
Thank you, Rich, and good Friday evening, everybody, and welcome to the field here at Lake City High School, site of tonight's Division 7 District Championship contest between the Lake City Trojans and the McBain Ramblers, alongside my longtime broadcast partner, good friend, and all-around Renaissance man, Gary Hawkeye Vanna. I am merely Jay Simon, and we are thrilled to have you with us for this one as the 10-0 Trojans play host to the 8-2 Ramblers for the right to advance to the regional level and to take home a little district hardware. And they say, Hawkeye, that familiarity breeds contempt. And in the case of these two teams, familiarity breeds, well, it breeds familiarity. These two teams know each other well.
Yeah, they know themselves very well, as the Trojans are coached by Kyle Smith, former all-conference player for the McBain Ramblers and quarterback at the McBain side. And he's brought some of his own touch that he learned from the previous Tim Peterson and what he has learned in his McBain days with the Power I, and really merged a fantastic program, going undefeated 2 seasons in a row. But the McBain Ramblers, when was the last time they lost?
Ramblers have not lost since week 3 against these very Trojans.
That's right. So the wheel has been rolling, and other teams have been feeling the wheel. Tonight we'll see what happens, what goes on, but what a fantastic atmosphere. This is just awesome. Two communities coming together, supporting each other in a little rivalry, which is never bad, and just two evenly matched teams.
Yep, this is the Pfluger Mechanical pregame show, licensed and insured for all your new installations, HVAC services, and light plumbing. Call Aaron at 282-3194. That's 282-3194. Our thanks to Pfluger Mechanical. And we mentioned week 3, the last time the Ramblers lost, it was to these Trojans. It was in McBain. 14-12 was the final, as the Ramblers got a 1-yard touchdown plunge from Logan Vandenboss with no time on the clock. And then Gavin Seeland's 2-point pass attempt was batted down in the end zone to secure the victory for Lake City. And of course, they went on from there to remain undefeated on the season, won the Highland Conference convincingly. This is a Trojan team, Hawkeye, that is averaging 33, almost 34 points per game, and they've only allowed 86 on the year. 48 of those have come in just the last 2 games. So during the regular season, until they ran into Sanford Meridian at the end of the year, they were rolling, and they were holding people to very small margins. So that 14-12 game with McBain until the last couple of weeks, their tightest contest of the year.
Yeah, McBain has a unique defense when they have such tall guys on the back end. And, you look at Caden McGillis, you're going to look at Daniel Ronenbaum, and you're going to say, and even Garrett Berkmos, he said, they're kind of tall, but they're long. And they really shut down a lot of cut down the field quite a bit on deep passes because of their length. They can go vertical when they don't, to make up horizontal distance.
I had to laugh. The Cadillac News, and I wasn't laughing at the Cadillac News, but Mike Dunn, who covers Misaki County for the Cadillac News and has done a great job over recent weeks in covering Lake City and McBain as this football season has progressed. Mike did a preview for this game in the Cadillac News. He listed Garrett Berkmos at 6'8". Has he grown?
I don't know. I can't tell you which part of the chest I'm looking at this year compared to last year. Really, anything over 6'1", it kind of doesn't matter to me.
It's like one of those trees that you see all the time, and you know it's growing, you know it's bigger, but you're just not sure by how much, right?
Yeah.
I get it. Anyway, in any case, certainly a lot of size in that defensive backfield for McBain, but they also have some horses up front in Owen Bonico and Hendrickson Bam Bam, and they have really dominated defensively. Not necessarily all game long, but they have come up in really big moments as they did last week.
Yeah, they really, since Bonico, his first game was actually against these Trojans, and shored up the defense. Those two defensive tackles or ends, depending if they're going with the 4 or 3-man front, have really been a threat on the field and something to deal with, because they got an edge to them.
Yeah.
They could just be nasty, mean boys, you know? You would think of an old 1980s tag team professional wrestling team when you think of those two.
Like Animal and Hawk, maybe? They were going
the Animal and Hawk, or no, that's
Road
right.
Warriors. Yeah.
Road Warriors,
I like
and that
I like it.
The Killer Bees.
There you go.
Bam Bam Bonico.
There you go. I like it.
The Killer Bees. Thank you. We just got a nickname.
Well, you mentioned McBain and how well they are playing, having won now 7 in a row. They have outscored opponents 253 to 125, averaging a little over 25 points per game. But over the last 5 games, Hawkeye, they've averaged almost 32 points per game. They've really started to click offensively. They certainly missed Gavin Seeland there in the regular season finale, but they got him back last week against Pine River, and he was definitely a big factor in that 28-14 win.
You know, yeah, let's give a lot of credit for Gavin. He didn't even start last week's game, but they just needed him, and he really stepped up. And they realized they had to go all hands on deck and put the best player in the best position. But what about George Brown III?
String quarterback.
Receiver. He's just really stepped up his game and really been a jack of all trades there. And we'll see him at running back. If Vandenbos went down last week, there he's in that running back. He's running wide receiver routes, and it's just really been a big step up for this kid. And George Brown III has really blossomed in the last 3 weeks.
Well, and I was going to say, too, I was talking to somebody earlier today about this game tonight. They asked if we were covering it. I said, yes, of course. Make sure you tune into 107.9 Wcdy and listen to the game. But we were discussing these two teams and what a big difference week 3 to week 10 or week 11 makes, and how things change. Different players may have stepped up at various times, and the two teams may be very familiar with each other. Certainly, they've seen a lot of tape, but things have changed a little bit. Kids have improved, kids have stepped up, and maybe different things have happened. And George Brown III, to me, is one of those X factors tonight. I don't know that on the offensive side of the ball he was a big factor in that week 3 game, and I have a feeling, however it ends up playing out, that he could be a big factor tonight.
Yeah, I do want to say he will be a big factor. And another thing you're going to have to give McBain credit to is the growth of the offensive line. When we saw him the first couple of weeks, there was a lot of sick going on there. Linemen were coming through, and my son was out there, and I felt like he was out there because there's nobody better to play that position. But now I find him serviceable in the middle of the season, and now he's holding his own. He is winning as many as he's losing, and the progression, I see it personally because I watch one particular play, but the whole line has been that way.
Yep.
And that is good to see.
McBain holds a 27-23 edge all time between these schools. Hawkeye, I don't know if you knew this. 51st meeting between these teams. It is the most McBain has played anybody. Lake City is their most often opponent in the history of this football program. They have played Pine River 49 times, Beale City 48, Manton 47, Marion 45, obviously all Highland Conference schools. Beale City, the only team McBain does not have a winning record against historically. And in this contest, back on September 7th, 14-12, we mentioned the Trojans won. Matthew Holt, the standout quarterback for the Trojans, who has led this team to it'd be a 12-10, 22-1 record over the last 2 seasons. Holt was just 4 of 15 passing for 86 yards, but 3 of those was to his big tight end, Ben Marion, for 76 yards. Noah Thome had 42 yards on 9 carries. Miles McLeod, the standout linebacker who had 8 tackles, he stepped up and had 5 carries at the fullback position late in that game. He picked up 31 yards. And Thome, I am told, may be dealing with an ankle injury that he sustained during practice. We'll have to see if he's 100% tonight.
Yeah, that would be very interesting to see, as it looks like we're starting to wrap down 2 minutes into the final thing. But hey, before we go any further, could we do a shout out?
We need to do a shout out. I know exactly where you're headed. Let's
give a huge shout out for the first time in 22 years. In fact, the last time my wife participated, but both the boys and the girls cross-country team qualified for the state finals. They took second in both the regions, the boys did and the girls did, and now they're going to be competing, and it's quite a great honor. They're down in MIS, and they're going to be running tomorrow, but they went down today, and I want to give a shout out to them and just let all Rambler Nation know that JJ contacted us on the Rambler Review. You know, that's John Johnson.
That's what you call him. Yeah, right.
That's what his friends call him?
Yes.
If you're interested as a Rambler fan, tomorrow you can actually go on to MHSAA.com TV, and they'll have a live free online camera for the finish line.
Fantastic. Very cool. Very, very cool. Well, the Lake City Trojan Marching Band out entertaining the crowd. They are on their feet as the Trojans football team has lined up in the tunnel, makeshift tunnel they have down there at the north end of the field. They are about to be announced by Jeff Hingston, a longtime PA announcer here in Lake City. And then we're going to get the national anthem. So while they do that, we will take a break here on 107.9 CDY. Division 7 District Championship game here from Lake City is coming up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
High Flow Performance is where you need to go to give your ride that sweet sound. Owner and founder Ryan Westorp uses the best materials and manufactures High Flow's own chamber exhaust. Using CC bending technology in their high-end precision welding shop, they create the highest quality exhaust products on the market today. With superior design and engineering, they'll create that classic muscle car sound and bring new life to your vehicle. Count on High Flow Performance. Follow them on Facebook for more details.
We've all been there. We rely on our vehicles more than ever to get us where we need to go, safe and sound. McBain Auto Service is open Monday through Friday and are fully licensed and insured to serve you. With over 50 years combined experience, they specialize in everything from brakes to engine repair with no job too big or small. Stop in for a safety inspection. McBain Auto Service, located at 9438 South Maury Road in McBain, or call 231-825-2729.
Making the final arrangements for a loved one is never easy. At Burkholder Family Funeral Home in McBain, they can help you get through the process one step at a time. Serving the families in McBain and the surrounding communities for over 40 years, they take pride in providing exceptional services that families can actually afford. The caring and compassionate staff at Burkholder Family Funeral Home can help ease the burden. Burkholder Family Funeral Home. Visit them today at 211 North Pine Street in McBain or call 231-825-8191.
High school students are training for the jobs of tomorrow today at the Wexford-Missaukee Career Technical Center in Cadillac. Juniors and seniors from 12 area high schools can choose from 14 career-driven programs. Free college credit is available. Visit WMISD.org and click or tap the Career Technical Education link. See all the great programs, then talk to your student's counselor. Call 876-2200. The Wexford-Missaukee Career Technical Center on 13th Street across from Baker College. Proud to serve the students of McBain High School. CTC is the place to be.
The harsh northern Michigan winter is right around the corner, and that's why you need to heat your house with Holton's LP Gas. Call them today at 231-839-4600. You can contact the office for specials today. And if you're a new customer, they have specials for you as well. Holton's LP Gas has been in Lake City for 30 years, and don't worry, they service the entire listening area. They've got 24/7 live, trained professionals. Holton's LP Gas is a proud sponsor of McBain Athletics.
And a fine rendition of the national anthem by the Lake City Trojan Marching Band here at Lake City High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Division 7 District Championship contest coming up from Lake City High School. The McBain Ramblers and the Lake City Trojans, two very familiar foes, as they have met 50 times prior to tonight. Tonight, the 51st meeting between these two teams. And the winner will advance to the regional championship match, which, well, would be here in Lake City if Lake City wins. If McBain were to prevail, you never know. It could be in McBain, as the other side features Roscommon and Iron Mountain. McBain has more playoff points than Iron Mountain. If they were to upset Roscommon, McBain, a couple of upsets, McBain would then be the host. If Roscommon wins, Lake City would be the host, or Roscommon would be the host if McBain were to defeat them. So we are actually hoping to get some updates on that. I do have a link to the radio station broadcasting that game, and during timeouts I may try to peek in to see if I can get some scores so we can let you know how that game is going. We'll also feed that information over to our counterparts, Rick Swanson and Jordan Shepler, with the call over on 107.1 The Drive. Gary Vanna is an unabashed McBain homer and fan. He loves his Ramblers. He teaches there. And so he is definitely going to give this broadcast a bit of a Rambler flavor. If you're interested in a little bit more of a Lake City viewpoint, head over to 107.1 The Drive for Rick and Jordan's call. We won't be hurt by that, I promise you. You're listening to WCDY, McBain Cadillac, Lake City. They are introducing the offense for the Lake City Trojans down in front of us right now, Hawkeye. And as you brought it up, a couple of communities that love their high school sports. They come out and they support their student athletes tremendously. And right now, the Lake City side, there is not an empty seat in the house. I'm not prone to exaggeration, folks. There really isn't an empty seat in the house. These bleachers are absolutely packed north to south, and they are lined up on the fence to the north side. Meanwhile, over on the opposite side of the field, no, it looks like a home game almost. They've got the bleachers packed, and they're lined up along the fence all the way across. So we've got a couple of great fan bases for tonight's game.
Yeah, this is, no, you realize this, but the Detroit Free Press writer, Mick McCabe, or Son of Swami, has some predictions for us that you might be interested in, as he did a prediction of the McBain Lake City game, and he predicted Lake City to win by 1 point in overtime. Another interesting fact, in the Roscommon Iron Mountain game, he has Iron Mountain upsetting Roscommon.
Wow. Interesting. Well, Iron Mountain, a team the Rambler faithful would be familiar with back in 2011, 2010, 2011. Can't remember which year it was. Ramblers went up, played Iron Mountain in a district title game, and lost in triple overtime after going for 2 to try to get the win. Meanwhile, here, the Ramblers will be kicking off to start this game. And George Brown, the third string kicker, no, he's the first string kicker, will send this one bouncing, picked up just inside the 20-yard line and returned outside the 30 before going out of bounds at the 32. And that's where the Lake City Trojans will have their first possession just underway here in Lake City.
Big tackle by Josh Hart on that one, as he was one of the faster gunners to get down and really shut down what could have been a huge return for the Trojans. Instead, Trojans take over on their own 31.
Matthew Holt, the senior quarterback, who has, as mentioned, led this team to a 22-1 record over the last 2 years, starts under center, and we've got our first flag of the game on the first play.
And second flag.
The line judge to the near side throwing the flag, the referee throwing a flag, pointing at Lake City, and we are going to get, I don't know what that is, a salute. He put his fist to his heart, pointed to Lake City's way, and whatever it is going to cost them 5 yards, and we will try again. 1st and 15 now for the Trojans. Zach Wiggins turning the dials for us back in the studio as the Trojans come up to the line of scrimmage in their home all red uniforms with the red helmets. I formation behind Holt. He'll hand it off to the fullback, and nothing doing there as the line steps up and sends Miles McLeod nowhere going for him as he gets to the 25. We'll give him the 26-yard line. It's actually a loss of a yard. It'll bring up 2nd and 16.
Good penetration on that by your Killer Bees, as Bonico got in there, as well as Cade Brown. And you can see that they're shifting their line again.
Just one receiver. Handoff is to the tailback. Oh, Thome with a lot of room to run, and Thome making a couple of people miss as he heads straight up the gut, is over the 40-yard line, out to the 41, a gain of 15, very close to a Lake City first down. It'll bring up 3rd and short for the Trojans.
And what they look like they did with that deep back in the I formation for Lake City and Thome is that they waited for the offensive line to set up the blocks and let McBain over pursuit, and then to continue to push him on their over pursuit to open up a hole up the middle.
Thome looked like a commuter rushing to catch his train as he just sort of shed people left and right. They'll give it to Thome again. He'll try the left side and hit hard. Wow, right about the first down marker. I don't know if you caught the number of that Rambler, Hawkeye, but Thome drilled and stopped just shy of the first down marker, and so it's going to bring up 4th and about a half a yard, right about the 42-yard line. Are they going to measure this?
They're going to measure.
They are going to measure.
And that was Justin Camphouse who laid the wood on that one.
Big hit from Camphouse will force the referees to bring out the chains and see. From our standpoint, we are just to the north of the 50-yard line here in Lake City. Looks like he's short, and he is. About the length of a football is what the Trojans are going to need. Seems like the type of field position that many teams might consider going for it. For Kyle Smith, I don't think there's much question at all. I think he trusts his team to get this half a yard.
This always scares me on this one because it seems like you stop them for a loss just as often as they bust one for a touchdown.
Yep. You get too many people committed, too many people going north, and suddenly there's nobody in the backfield, and somebody like Noah Thome is gone. Well, here we go. Big 4th down coming up now for the Trojans. I formation behind Holt, and Holt will keep it himself, and he's got the first down. So the quarterback keeper, in retrospect, Hawkeye, a pretty obvious call. Give it to your senior, trust him to pick up the half yard.
You know, only you and the center know what the count is, and you should be able to surprise McBain enough for a yard.
Ball marked between the 43 and 44. We'll call it the 44-yard line. First down for Lake City as they go left to right across your radio dial. Beautiful night tonight. It's chilly, but it is clear. And a gorgeous night for football.
And the burgers and the hamburgers are
my goodness.
Good. Look at that smoke across.
Smoke coming across the field. I formation again. Single receiver to the near side for the Trojans. Holt. I pass. Wants to throw into the corner. Is that caught? It is. What a grab. Auden Ealing was defending on the play, but he could not keep Devin Davis from coming down with it. And Davis, Hawkeye, was the defensive back who knocked down the pass on the 2-point conversion for the Trojans back in week 3. And here he comes up with a great catch. First down at the 25.
Yeah, that one was just mistimed and went for the interception. And when you just mistime it and you go for the interception, he's either going to catch it or drop it, but you're out of the play.
Davis, your lone receiver, again to the near side. They'll hand it off to Thome. Thome again with room to run. Gets a couple nice blocks. Spinning across the 20-yard line is going to be dropped just outside the 15. Give him the 16-yard line. A gain of about 9, and it'll bring up 2nd and 1 now for the Trojans.
What was really key on that was the Michael Gribb, number 75 for Lake City's block on Logan Vandenboth at the linebacker and sealed him off so he couldn't make the penetration, leaving an alley for the run.
2nd and 1 for the Trojans. No score. First possession of the game. 9:05 remaining here in the first quarter. Davis lines up to the far side now. They'll hand it off to Thome again. This time the Ramblers with great penetration, and they will stop him for no gain. It's going to bring up 3rd and 1 now. Matthew Holt over to the sideline for the play call from head coach Kyle Smith. 8.5 minutes to go here in the first. No score. Trojans with a 3rd and 1 going left to right. I formation behind Matthew Holt. Davis, your lone receiver to the near side. Holt, play action, wants to throw, looking, he's got a wide open man in the middle. Underneath, nobody near him, into the end zone. Touchdown, Lake City.
Well, that was a great multi-route in the same zone. Gavin Sealing can only cover one of the 2 players. The late developing out route there was wide open, and then a good downfield blocking left him for an easy walk in for the touchdown.
Taylor Butkovich, I believe, on the catch and the touchdown, and so the Trojans go up 6-0 with the extra point attempt coming up. Holt your holder, and the kick is good. And so with 8:19 remaining here in the opening quarter, the Lake City Trojans have taken a quick 7-0 lead over the McBain Ramblers. We'll be back right after this.
In the small town of McBain lies a locally owned family pharmacy that takes pride in helping improve the health of every patient that comes through the door. At McBain Family Pharmacy, you're more than just a prescription. Here, you're family, and their experienced team of professionals are always available to answer any questions you may have regarding prescription and over-the-counter medications. McBain Family Pharmacy is your full-service family pharmacy for both traditional and compound medications. Call them today at 231-825-8175. That's 231-825-8175. Or stop by their store, located at 119 North Roland Street in McBain.
And welcome back to Lake City High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye, Vanazak Wiggins turning the dials for us back in the studio. The Lake City Trojans have taken a quick 7-0 lead as they go 68 yards on the opening drive. Really 73 yards as they cost themselves 5 on the opening play. Capped off by a 16-yard Taylor Butkovich TD catch from senior Matt Holt. And now the Ramblers will try to answer as the Trojans kick off, and they will send an onside kick that is taken at the 44-yard line by McBain. Upman fell right on top of it. They're kind of battling for it for whatever reason, but I'm pretty sure McBain had that cleanly. And they do. So McBain will take over at their own 44 as the Trojans go with an onside kick early, Hawkeye. Does that mildly surprise you?
You know, last game was so close that if you can somehow start off with 2 scores, home crowd behind you, and try and put McBain's hopes out of it right away, I say you go for it.
Well, and I did read also in that aforementioned Mike Dunn preview that Kyle Smith, they've been burned for return touchdowns twice. And wanted to avoid that as here's Logan Vandenboss straight up the middle. Vandenboss rumbling across midfield into Lake City territory, and he's down at the 43-yard line. First down for McBain.
How's the knee, do you think, for Logan?
I think the knee is either numb or fine. Pistol formation for Gavin Seelan. They send Camphouse in motion. Seelan will keep it himself. He's got an option with Camphouse dancing to the outside and is tripped up. Should mark this right about the 40-yard line. Should be a gain of about 3 for McBain. It'll bring up 2nd and 7. Quickly trying to establish inside and outside, try to keep the Trojans on their toes. Ethan Barton, your lone receiver, split to the near side. For Burkmos to the far side, they send man in motion again. This is Rodenball. Rodenball with the ball in his left hand, trying to get to the edge. We got a flag on the play on the near side, and I think not only are the Trojans going to get a stop for no gain, but we're also going to see a penalty on the Ramblers, as it's been a bugaboo for them all year long, Hawkeye. The wide receivers getting caught on the outside there with the hold.
Yeah, that was a late flag, but an accurate flag. There was a hold by the Ramblers on that sweep play. What happened is that Lake City had very good penetration, and you didn't want the play to go down for a loss, so you grab on and hope that no one sees the sin.
Unfortunately, you're kind of on an island and everybody sees the sin. We'll take it back to the Rambler 46-yard line, where they face 2nd and just outside a country mile, about 21. Camphouse in motion. Ramblers going right to left. 2 receivers to the top side. Seelan wants to throw. Throwing over the middle. Has George Brown, and just a little too high, as Brown had inside position on Matt Holt and was open. But Seelan's throw just out of the reach of George Brown III. It'll bring up 3rd and long.
Well, yeah, I give Seelan credit for on that one, though, is that his primary receiver on that was Justin Camphouse, and he knows that Camphouse was covered, and he was able to look to his secondary option. And when a quarterback goes through a progression at this level, that really will pay dividends, and that gives credit to the line for blocking so well.
7:20 remaining here in the first quarter. Seelan wants to throw again. Nice pocket. Now he'll scramble to the outside. Pointing, directing traffic. Wants to throw deep for Rodenball. Batted and knocked out of bounds. Nice job there defensively by the Trojans defensive back. Is that Ben Marion playing DB?
That was Ben
I
Marion.
believe it is.
You know, his brother plays DB at Michigan Tech.
Ben Marion, the big tight end, defending against Logan Rodenbaugh, and gets a paw on that one. And so it brings up 4th and 21 now for the Ramblers, and we should see, I would expect, the right leg of Bam Bam, Noah Hendrickson. Late substitution for the Ramblers. Some confusion as to who's supposed to be out there. The lineman. Snap is bobbled, and Hendrickson will have to send a rugby-style kick toward the right sideline that will go out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Nice job by Hendrickson. In a bad situation, had a lineman come out late, caused the Ramblers to have to scramble, and so the Trojans here at home, everybody talked about how this game, they figured it would be real close, the way McBain played the Trojans back in week 3 at home, but something about playing in this atmosphere when essentially the entire town of Lake City comes out. It's like playing Beale City in Beale City. There is a decided home field advantage, and when the home crowd gets on you, it's tough.
Let's just say there's no waiting for seats at the food factory right now.
No, there is not. No, there is not. Apparently the band playing as Lake City got ready to snap. Holt will hand this off to Thome. Thome over the right side with some room, and then snagged and dragged down. A nice open field tackle there made. Thought I knew who number 22 was.
Oh, Caden
McGillis, thank you, with the tackle.
Can they throw a flag on the band? I want to see a flag thrown on the band. If I was in the band, I would take that as like a
compliment.
Trophy.
As a compliment.
We're the only band in Lake City history that have a penalty called on them.
Right. 2nd and 5 now for the Trojans. Going left to right. Holt will give it to Thome. Thome on the left edge. Got room. He's got a first down and will go out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. He's got a Lake City first down. 6:27 remaining here in the first quarter. Trojans trying to put the Ramblers in a deep hole quickly. As you said, Hawkeye, that can make things very, very problematic playing on the road.
Yeah, but you know what? Lakeview, they got in a hole, and they took them into the 4th quarter to get the lead, and they played 2 different types of games in the half. So
handoff to Thome, and getting quickly into the background, one half of the Killer Bees, Noah Hendrickson into the backfield, dragging Thome down back at the 33-yard line. It's a loss of 5, and it'll bring up 2nd and 15 now for the Trojans.
Question for you on the Killer Bees. Do we have a third of the Killer Bees? Is Cade Brown considered one of the Killer Bees as our nose guard?
You tell me.
Well, why not? Let's throw him in the Killer Bees.
There you go.
And
listen, if your
name
if your name doesn't start with a B, we'll give you a nickname that will cause you to be part of it. That's right.
And George Brown the third.
George Brown the third.
Logan Vanden Boss.
7:40, and we've got a flag on the play. Boy, we had a bad snap, but flags before that with 5:40 remaining here. False start on the Trojans is going to send them back. So now we're going to look at a 2nd and 20 as the ball will go back to the 28-yard line. Of course, the Ramblers had them in a situation like this, 2nd and 16 or so back on the last possession. And the Trojans picked up most of it with a Noah Thome run on their way to scoring. This time they come out with 2 receivers set, shotgun formation. Thome the lone back with Holt. Holt's going to keep it himself. He'll try the right side right away, and he is dragged down and wrapped up nicely. Hit initially, I think Caden McGillis, nope, George Brown III finishing him off.
Was that George? I thought that was Logan Rodenbaugh. Both of them were in there. It's hard to tell between 34 and 24.
It is, but the way George walks, like he's 6'9", he
doesn't walk. He swaggers.
He does. He swaggers everywhere he goes. That looked like the swagger of George Brown III. 4-yard pickup, 3rd and long. Shotgun formation for Holt. He's got 2 receivers and Ben Marion from his tight end position. Wants to throw, underthrown, and beautifully knocked away. Auden Ealing, defending behind Davis, did a nice job of moving up and slapping that away. Give Matt Holt, Hawkeye, a lot of credit, though, for even getting that pass off as he was about to be run over by Noah Hendrickson and somehow got enough of that to give Davis a chance.
That takes a lot of guts to stand on the railroad track as the train's coming down.
Sure does. It's going to make it 4th and about 16 now. 4th and 16 for the Trojans as they come out with that 2-punter look in the backfield. And the punt is going to bounce. George Brown will let that bounce. That's wise. And it will roll inside the 20 and be down at the 16-yard line, and that's where McBain will take over. But the Ramblers get a stop, and that is key. And they give their offense another chance now with 4:30 remaining here in the first quarter. I don't know if you microphones picked up the Lake City fan letting George Brown third. No, that he went to the wrong school.
Yeah.
Well, whether it's Pine River McBain, Lake City McBain, there's no love lost. You just never know. That's why my kids never played sports. Cadillac would have been telling them the same thing. Trips to the right for Seelan. They send Camp House in motion. And Seelan will keep it himself. Follows Vandenbosch through the hole on the left side and then stacked up right away before he got to the 20. Progression will give him the 19. It'll be a 3-yard pickup for Sealand, and it will bring up 2nd and 7. 4 and 10 remaining here in the first quarter. Ramblers in their road white jerseys with gold pants, gold helmets as they go right to left, south to north here in Lake City. Camp House in motion. Seelan rolling to his right, wants to throw. Seelan underthrown, I assume underthrown. I thought he wanted to go for Verberkmos, but he just couldn't get enough on it. It falls between Verberkmos and Logan Rodenbaugh. Incomplete.
Well, it's hard to throw
3rd and 7.
It's hard to throw it deep when you're getting slammed from the backside on that.
That's why I say I have a feeling he wanted to go to Verberkmos, but couldn't get enough on it as he got drilled. A reminder, if you're leaving our listening area, head over to 107.9Wcdy.com. Click on the game logo over in the right-hand column. You can listen to us anywhere in the world where you get a decent internet connection. Live streaming of McBain Rambler football brought to you by McLean Transmissions. 3 receivers to the right for Seelan. Sends Camp House in motion. Seelan back to throw. Wants Camp House up the left sideline and batted away. Holt and Camp House colliding at the point where the ball was coming down, and the incompletion is going to bring out Noah Hendrickson for a punt. So the Ramblers go to the air twice in those 3 downs, can't get the completion, and they face a 4th and 7 now from their own 19. Noah Hendrickson out to punt. This time there's no confusion for the Ramblers. A Trojan comes in late to the line. Good snap, and Noah will get off a solid punt that lands and takes a Rambler bounce and then is immediately covered by Davis. Well, he probably saved his team a couple yards as he jumps on it at the 42-yard line, and that's where Lake City will take over.
Yeah. Is it worth the 2 yards?
No, not at all. Not in my mind. And I have to figure Kyle Smith probably agrees, but no harm done. Again, McLean Transmissions allowing us to bring you the live streaming of Rambler football. For anything transmission related and for quality used cars, head over to McLean Transmissions on LaChance Road between Cadillac and Lake City. Call 779-1394. That's 779-1394 as Thome takes the handoff, churning the legs, trying to drag Logan Vandenbosch, and he will be stopped at the 48-yard line. Gain of 6. It'll bring up 2nd and 4 for the Trojans as we hit the 3:15 mark to go here in the opening quarter.
Talking about dragging a plow down a field.
That is, if you're familiar with CrossFit, one of the things they like to do is take those weighted sleds and push them around, or wrap a rope around a tire and drag it around. That's probably what it's a little like trying to drag Logan Vandenbosch anywhere. Holt in the shotgun will take it. Quarterback keeper all the way, dancing around the right edge, over midfield, and he's got a Trojan first down at the 47-yard line of McBain. It's that play right there Hawkeye, if you're a longtime Trojan observer that is so familiar, Cade Peterson, Drew Marion, now Matt Holt, it's something they've done for a long time out of that shotgun formation, running behind the tailback through an open hole, 3, 4, 5 yards, and they just chew it up.
Yeah. Well, they've gone away from the I formation, just keep McBain on their heels.
They have. This time it's Thome, and Thome is going to get hit and brought down. Owen Bonico on the tackle. Logan Rodenbaugh delivering a blow. Bonico, though, wrapping him up and bringing him down.
How often do you see a Bonico tackle where the running back still falls forward?
Not often at all.
And that's what we just saw in that play.
Absolutely. 5-yard pickup makes it 2nd and 5 from the McBain 42-yard line. 7-0 Lake City. Minute 55 remaining here in the opening quarter. Trojans with a 2-receiver look. Holt fakes the pitch to Thome, takes off to his right. He's got room over the 30, makes another man miss, spinning away over the 20, and finally corralled and brought down by Garrett Verberkmos inside the 20-yard line. And it's another first down for the Trojans at the Ramblers' 17-yard line.
Well, if we were fishing, it looked like that the majority of the Ramblers bid on that fake pitch and left the sideline wide open for Holt.
That's all Holt needed, was that little half jab step that the defenders take. And he had plenty of room. First down at the 18 of the Ramblers. Minute 43 to go here in the first quarter. 7-0 Lake City, and now we are going to get a Rambler timeout. Head coach Pat Maloney wants to talk it over, trying to avoid getting into a bigger hole here in the first quarter. 7-0 Lake City, and they're knocking on the door. We'll take a break and be back right after this.
McBain Rural Agricultural Schools offers a quality, well-rounded education for the whole child. McBain students have a technological head start from the beginning with their own issued MacBook or iPad. Rambler students are immersed in strong curriculum, including access to a large variety of vocational programs, a winning athletics program, and access to a new state-of-the-art performing arts center. Challenging competitive times require a challenging competitive education. Give your child the McBain advantage. McBain Rural Agricultural Schools.
And welcome back to Lake City High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Zach Wiggins turning the dials for us back in the studio, trying to listen in to the Roscommon Iron Mountain broadcast. See if we could get an update. That game, I believe, started at 6 p.m. Started an hour earlier than this one. Actually, you know what? That may not be true. That may have been Iron Mountain time. That may be why I saw 6 p.m. But somebody's on the wrong end of a 22-7 score, assuming I'm listening to the right game. Here it's 7-0 Lake City over the McBain Ramblers, and they've got a first down at the McBain 18-yard line as Matt Holt takes the snap and immediately over the right side, and again picks up a chunk of yards, takes it down to about the 13-yard line, gain of 4. It'll bring up 2nd and 6, and pretty much you called it, Hawkeye. They came out in that one receiver I formation look. Got a couple of good runs early on, but McBain also got a couple of big stops and loss of yards. And since then, they've gone back to this shotgun look. They've taken out the fullback. They've gone with 2 receivers. Ben Marion, of course, at tight end is an option for them from a passing standpoint, but Matt Holt and Noah Thome have been doing most of the damage in the backfield. As Holt fakes, avoids a tackle in the backfield, jigging his way through the 10-yard line and into the end zone. Touchdown, Lake City.
And that quick, a 3-yard loss is a 6-point gain.
Logan Rodenbaugh had a shot at him in the backfield, but Holt able to escape Rodenbaugh's clutches and then made a man miss on his way to the end zone, and it puts the Trojans up 13-0 with the extra point attempt to come. Good snap, good hold, and a good kick. And with 59 seconds remaining in the first quarter, the Lake City Trojans have taken a 14-0 lead over the McBain Ramblers.
You know, Mick McCabe at the Free Press predicted that Lake City was going to score 21 points this game. He didn't say at what points and when that's going to be, so I want to let you know they only have a chance for one more touchdown.
22 points. They're going to have to go for 2, which is weird. Yeah. What is
And then in overtime, that means actually Lake City's done scoring for the game.
They're done scoring for the regular. Yeah, that's true. What does Mick McCabe know? Hey, we want to take a moment and thank LC Materials, Wexford Missaukee Career Tech Center, Falmouth Co-op, Amp Wireless, Pluger Mechanical, and High Flow Performance for their support of tonight's broadcast. Couldn't do it without them. If you get an opportunity to stop into any one of our sponsors and thank them for their support of tonight's broadcast, please do so. Let them know you heard them here on 107.9 CDY as the Trojans will kick off, but somebody got ahead of the kicker, and they will do it again from 5 yards further back.
Well, if they went deep on that one and they have to move back 5 yards and almost put it to the end zone, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be going deep again.
So they'll set it up back at the 35-yard line now using the far hash mark. Boot, this is going to be short, take a bounce and go out of bounds. And so McBain will take over at their own 35-yard line with inside a minute remaining here in the first quarter. 14-0, Lake City with the lead.
So basically that was a 15-yard penalty. The first kick was into the end zone, so they were getting at the 20. But since this is out of bounds, McBain gets at the 35, so they gained 15 yards on the offsides penalty. Or the 40, sorry. I forgot. You get the extra 5 yards on the penalty added to the 35.
You do?
Yeah, once an offside penalty. Yeah.
You get 5 on the kick and then another 5 on
because it's actually 25 yards from where the ball's kicked.
All right. First down for the Ramblers. Quickly throwing. Seelan has his man on the far sideline diving for the stick. Is Garrett Verberkmos. And Verberkmos has a first down for McBain in Lake City territory at the 49-yard line.
Well, the way Lake City's been playing defense, they're not going to let Verberkmos take the top off of them. So these quick short passes may be a good way to loosen the defense up a little bit for the running game. Off balance line right here. Expect to run our way.
Handoff. Oh, and running right. Oh, Seelan ran into the back. Oh, my goodness. Seelan ran into the back of a defender and then took a shot to the head. Seelan bouncing up, wanted a helmet-to-helmet call as he got absolutely drilled by Andrew Brown, the senior defensive lineman. Gain, though, of 3 as they will mark it at the 46-yard line.
Yeah, but the Magician should have had a loss of 1.
Yeah, he was definitely in trouble. Bouncing off one of his own blockers. Send Camphouse in motion. He'll make it trips to the right. Seelan will roll to his right. Has protection. Surprised he didn't pull that down. Throwing for Camphouse and overthrowing Camphouse. Camphouse, I don't know if he lost sight of that ball or what. As the defender kind of jumping for it, Camphouse had his hands down. I'm not sure if he ever even saw the ball. Surprised you, Seelan had about 10 yards of room in front of him, at least from our angle. Mildly surprised he didn't pull that down and go?
Yeah, I am surprised on that one. And I think what happened with Camphouse is that he switched the defensive back quickly. He saw a wounded duck and wanted the defensive back.
2 receivers split either way. Last play of the first quarter. Seelan looks to his left. Now rolling right. He'll throw. Has Verberkmos at the sideline, and Verberkmos will bring it in. Nice hands catch by Garrett Verberkmos, and the ball will be marked right at the first down marker, the 39-yard line of Lake City. And I think before we switch ends, we're going to get a measurement. Needed to get to the 39-yard line. Of course, the chain is right there, so I'm not sure why they necessarily need to measure this. It's literally marked on the sideline. In any case, we'll let them figure that out. 14-0, our score here in Lake City. The Trojans with the lead. McBain, though, in Lake City territory and looking to put some points up. Second quarter coming up right after this.
If you're a parent, you know how tough it is to find trustworthy daycare. Jesse's House Daycare in McBain is fully licensed, open weekdays from 7:30 until 5, and has part-time and full-time openings for ages birth to 12. With an outdoor playground area, a meal program, and 15 years experience caring for children of all ages, you can depend on Jesse's House to take great care of your child. Call 231-942-1405. 231-942-1405. Jesse's House Daycare, 985 West Falmouth Road, McBain.
Why do high school sports really exist? For 99% of the participants, it's the biggest stage they will ever play on, and it provides the most educational value, teaching sportsmanship, ethics, integrity, hard work, and teamwork. It's about playing with local friends against local rivals and creating lifetime relationships. They build community spirit, and they're worthy of your continued support. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Welcome back to Lake City High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Zach Wiggins turning the dials for us back in the studio. The one and only Rich Spicer in the house as well. 14-0, Lake City with the lead over McBain here in this Division 7 district championship game. Winner advances to the regional title game. They'll take on the winner of Roscommon and Iron Mountain. And best I can tell, Roscommon leads Iron Mountain 22-7 right now, although I'm not positive at what point in the game it is. Assuming it started at 7, it can't be much further than this game, but you never know. We will try to get that updated. I'm going to try and send that link to Rich so he can listen, and he'll give us updates as well.
Fourth down play.
It is 4th and short for the Ramblers. Sealand out of the shotgun. 2 receivers either way. Low snap. Sealand picks it up and diving forward should have the first down. Boy, Gavin Sealand saving the Ramblers there as the snap came out low. And Hawkeye, you've played a little center. Does that happen when you're more worried about getting the block than getting off that snap?
That's it. That's when it's like a wide receiver taking off before they complete the catch. You go for the block before you complete the snap. And when you're doing a snap like this, they're allowed to have a man over you. It's not like
it's not a long snap, right? Shotgun formation for Sealand again. 2 receivers split either way. He'll send Logan Rodenbaugh in motion. Sealand now rolling to his left. Wants to throw. Has a man open. Behind him, Logan Rodenbaugh, though, makes the catch and will be brought down right around the 30-yard line. Sealand under pressure from Ben Marion. Got that across his body. And they will mark it just outside the 30. Make it the 31, so it's a gain of 8. 2nd and 2 for McBain, trying to answer the Lake City scores to start this game. They trail 14-0. Trips to the right. Logan Rodenbaugh, Verberkmos, and Camphouse in the slot. Ethan Barton, the lone receiver to the far side. Vandenboss in the backfield with Sealand in the shotgun. Sealand rolling to his right. Trying to use a block, and what a job. Is that Ben Marion? I think it was.
That is Ben Marion.
Ben Marion shedding the block on the outside. Basically shoved the blocker away, reached out, snagged Sealand, and brought him down at the 36-yard line. It's a loss of 5.
It reminds me of my prom when I was slow dancing with the girl and she got rid of me quickly in the middle of the dance. And
3rd and 8 now for the Ramblers as we hit the 11-minute mark here in the 2nd quarter. Pistol formation. Rodenbaugh in motion. Low snap again. Sealand picks it up. Sealand scrambling and is buried back at the 39-yard line. So the snap right now an issue for McBain, as you really can't run an offense when you're too busy picking the ball up off your shoe tops.
Maloney trying to get something going for the McBain Ramblers is looking at staying on the field at 4th and 10.
Well, hey, it's win or go home. You already know that Lake City, they've scored on you twice in 3 possessions. I don't mind this call at all. Trips to the left for Sealand in the shotgun. Vandenboss in the backfield with him. They send Rodenbaugh in motion. Sealand looking to throw. Over the middle and in and out of the hands of George Brown III. It was well defended. I think it was Davis, Hawkeye, that came across. I don't think he touched that ball, but I think it was enough to take George's eyes off that ball, and he was not able to bring it in. Hit him in the hands, but it's a tough ball to catch when you are distracted by a flying defender in front of you.
Well, that's exactly it. It was just a matter of millimeters as far as I can tell from here. And that is hard to stay focused on that ball. And I know everyone says, well, if it hits your hands, you always should catch it. But
no, not when you're not being paid to play.
And more than just that.
So Lake City takes over at the 39-yard line of the Trojans. Handoff to Thome. Thome runs into the back of his own lineman. And that allows the Ramblers to corral him and bring him down at the 41. You heard the Trojans faithful with the ooh. But it was not a Rambler hit that caused that. He ran smack into the back of his offensive lineman.
In fact, he had the biggest hit on the play.
He did. Second and 7, 9:40 remaining. Here in the second, Holt somehow manages to scurry over Logan Vandenboss and then steps out of bounds in Rambler territory at the 44-yard line. He's got a Lake City first down. And I tell you right there, Hawkeye, that is a case of not wrapping up, trying to go low and trip up the runner, and Holt just did a nice job of stepping over the tackler and picks up another Lake City first down.
Tell you, Lake City's offensive line is looking really good right now because they're not really letting the Killer Bees get back there.
Shotgun formation. Holt fakes, keeps it himself. He'll try the right side. Holt through a hole. Holt to the 30. Holt finally grabbed from behind by Camphouse, who rides him to the ground, but not before getting to the 20-yard line. 24-yard pickup for Matthew Holt. And it's another first down for Lake City. Matthew Holt and Nathan Thome, or Noah Thome, as we said in the pregame, Hawkeye, we thought Thome might have a bit of an ankle injury, but he's looked fine. Matt Holt doing the most damage right now, running the ball for these Trojans.
McBain throws in Caleb Outman to put some size on that line, maybe to slow down the rushing attack.
I'll hand it off to Thome. Thome picking his way forward and slowed down at the line of scrimmage and then driven backwards, so no gain. It'll bring up 2nd and 10, so the line doing their job there.
And Outman got on the tackle on that one.
Eight and a half minutes to go here in the second quarter. 14-0 Lake City. They've got a 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line of the Ramblers, and boy, I can smell that grill, this window open. Smells good, not gonna lie. Shotgun formation for the Trojans. Holt fakes, wants to throw over the middle and through the hands of Ben Marion, who got drilled. I think it was a Daniel Rodenbaugh that came up and hit him. I'm not sure that Marion noticed.
Verberkamos.
Was it Verberkamos? Yeah.
I didn't know which one went through the hands, the ball or Verberkamos, but the ball was dislodged on that one.
Third and 10 now for the Trojans. Holt out of the shotgun, will keep it himself. He's got room to run to the right side. First down, and is dragged down just shy of the end zone. As it looked like the Ramblers might have him corralled, but he made a little shifty move to the right, and there was a giant hole that Matthew Holt burst through, and it's a 1st and goal now for the Trojans at the 2-yard line. Inside 8 minutes to go here in the first half. And the handoff to Thome, nothing much going there. Thome is stopped for no gain, so it'll be 2nd and goal now from the 2.
Well, they're bringing in Walker Henrik, and that must be some type of gimmick play. I assume that they're going to try and do a power run with him in there, but it looks like 99's checked into the game as a fullback.
That he has. Holt will go under center. They've got Miles McLeod, the normal fullback, at the tailback position. They'll give it to McLeod, and McLeod will dance around the right edge, untouched and into the end zone. Touchdown, Lake City.
Well,
20-0 Lake City with 7 minutes to go here in the first half.
Lake City side's having a fun time.
They sure are. That they are. The PA announcer Jeff Hingston with the Trojan call of "to the house" with every Lake City touchdown. And the Lake City faithful loves to chant it along with them. They love their Trojans here in Lake City, and why not? 21-0, Lake City with the lead over the McBain Ramblers in this D7 district title game. We'll take a break and be back right after this.
Providing great service and quality to our customers, LC Materials is here for you and all your concrete and aggregate needs, both residential and commercial projects. We can assist you in estimates, sand and gravel needs, project details, and on-time delivery. LC Materials is also in Cadillac at the Concrete Store. The Concrete Store has building supplies, stone, block, tools, and other accessories to help you finish your project. So when you're ready, call LC Materials. We're ready when you are, online at lcmaterials.net.
And welcome back to Lake City High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Zach Wiggins turning the dials for us back in the studio. 21-0, the Trojans rolling here in the first half at Lake City High School as they will kick off. And it will be taken. Auden Ealing dropped it off the bounce, picks it up at the 15, and then snagged from behind. Back at the 16-yard line. Boy, Ben Marion is doing everything. What a tackle. Marion is an excellent tight end, but boy, he's really making his presence known defensively tonight.
Yeah, he's having a great game there and has really been a difference maker, and it's not showing up in the stat line.
So McBain, after putting together a pretty good drive on the previous possession, will now need to get some points on the board, if only for the mental health of it all. As Seelan, out of the pistol formation, hands it off to Vandenbos, and Vandenbos will bully his way forward to the 20-yard line, gain of about 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 for the Ramblers as they come out in a little bit different look. Hawkeye, 2 backs behind Gavin Seelan. Now he's got them split to either side in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the near side, including Verberkmos. Low snap again. Seelan scrambles to pick it up and will just dive forward. Back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd low snap of the game. A little bit of a bugaboo. It's cold out there without question, but certainly no colder than it's been in a couple of other games. Not sure that's a factor or not. 6:05 remaining here. Yeah, they did not get the man off the field. Free play for the Ramblers as Verberkmos does a great job basically boxing out his defender and makes a nice catch. But the Trojans did not get their 12th man off the field, so we will see. Ramblers will have a first down in any case, so I'm guessing that's what they're going to take.
Well, Seelan made a great job there because he saw that there was a chance to catch him on the field and was demanding a quick snap, and he got it. And it was a perfect snap. You know, sometimes after you make a bad snap, you go too high the very next time. And
sure. Yeah, put it right in the breadbasket.
He put it right where it belongs.
So they'll take the results of the play out to the 34-yard line. It's a first down for McBain. Seelan in the shotgun with Vandenbos in the backfield. Seelan rolling to his left, wants to run all the way, pushing Vandenbos ahead of him, and then trying to make a man miss. Nice open field tackle by the Trojans as Seelan with that. I think it was actually Matt Holt, quarterback on quarterback damage there. Matt Holt doesn't make that tackle. Seelan's got some running room. It's a 6-yard pickup anyway. It'll be 2nd and 4 now for McBain. Two receivers split either way for Seelan in the shotgun. Seelan looking left, firing, has a man open. That is Logan Rodenbaugh, and Rodenbaugh across midfield into Lake City territory down to the 44-yard line, and it is a first down for McBain.
George Brown.
Was that George Brown on 3rd? Thank you. 24 not 34.
Yep.
I apologize to George Brown III. String receiver. First and 10 at the Lake City 44. Send Camphouse in motion. Seelan wants to throw again. Seelan, pump fake, pulls it down. Now he'll take off, and we've got a flag in the backfield. We're likely probably getting something offensive holding on the Ramblers, as we had a Rambler and a Trojan go down in a heap together in the backfield as Seelan was under pressure. The pump fake took off, but we're going to have this one come back. Flag was thrown at around the 45-yard line, and so that's going to take it back to the McBain 44, we'll call it 44 and a half, with the penalty. And it'll make it first and a smidge over a country mile for the Ramblers. Going left to right, north to south in this second quarter. 4:45 remaining here in the second. 21-0, Lake City with the lead. You got trips to the right, Seeland with a single receiver to the far side in the shotgun. Under pressure again, and he's going to get swarmed. 3 red jerseys in the backfield. Nowhere to go for Gavin Seeland as Thomas Bloomberg III got back to him along with a couple of friends. And it'll bring up second and long now, back at the 39-yard line, 5-yard loss.
I don't know, it's kind of speechless with the way this offense has been rolling lately and how they're looking tonight. This really seems to be a night and day from the first game. And is it just a locale that made the difference, or?
Well, we talked about in the pregame too, Hawkeye. That was week 3, and both teams have changed quite a bit. Lake City really finding another gear offensively, obviously, as we're going to get a timeout from the Ramblers, their second of the half. 3:46 remaining here in the first half. It's a 21-0 Lake City lead. We'll take a break and be back right after this.
When it's late, when it's snowing, when you just have to have it. It's nice knowing McNally's Party Store in downtown McBain is open 7 days a week. Locally owned and operated with the friendliest cashiers helping to serve your grocery needs. From candy and chips to pop and munchies, McNally's Party Store, they're still keeping it cold. And wishing the McBain Ramblers good luck in tonight's game. That's McNally's Party Store in downtown McBain, open 7 days a week.
3:46 remaining in the first half here at Lake City High School. 21-0, the Trojans lead the McBain Ramblers. Winner advances to the regional title game to take on the winner of Roscommon or Iron Mountain, a game that started an hour earlier than this one, Hawkeye. Roscommon playing at home has a 22-7 lead over the Mountaineers early in the fourth quarter. So the Bucks trying to advance where they would take on the winner of this one. Meanwhile, McBain trying to get on the board. They trail 21-0, and they've got a second and very long from their own 39-yard line. Here's Gavin Seelan rolling right, throws up a wobbly ball that's going to be intercepted by Davis. Devin Davis with the pick at the 33-yard line of Lake City. Seelan was under pressure and could not get what he wanted on that one. And Garrett Verberkmos, by the time he realized that ball was underthrown, not able to get back and turn into a DB.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not a pass you normally see come from Seelan. That's something that
just came out of his hand badly right there.
Normally has a nice tight spiral, and he's usually out throwing his receiver. So, well, now McBain's defense has got to stand up. They cannot afford a deeper hole going into the half.
3.5 minutes remaining here in the first half as Holt out of the shotgun, immediately running to his left. Makes a man miss, stumbling over the 35, gets it up to the 38-yard line. Give him the 37. We'll call it second and a long 6 for the Trojans. So we approach the 3-minute mark to go here in the first half. They send 2 receivers to the far side. Ben Marion in the slot hasn't even been, well, he's been targeted once in this game. Holt Play action, wants to throw up the left sideline and overthrows both Auden Ealing and Devin Davis, which is saying something. Two of the fastest guys on this field without question. And Holt overthrows them both. The incompletion will bring up 3rd and 6.
Great coverage by Auden Ealing, stride for stride on that route. And really, he has a good chance of catching that ball as the receiver did. Which I guess was really no chance since it wasn't near either one of them.
Yeah. Shotgun formation. Holt fakes the thumb, now takes off to his right. And this time the Ramblers on top of it as they bury him. Owen Bonico and Logan Rodenbaugh on the tackle. So McBain finally gets the Trojans into another 4th down hole. Actually got him back at the 35-yard line. And I believe we will see a punt from Lake City. Again, the 2 punters look in the backfield. We got a flag on the play as somebody came out onto the field for Lake City. This ball will check up and be downed at about the 37-yard line. I don't know what happened.
Well, a Lake City player went to the ground, but McBain kept on blocking him while he's on the ground.
Well, yeah, because you don't want him to get up.
Well, I know, but
yeah, no, that is a little odd. There was a player on the field for Lake City. They're saying illegal motion against the Trojans and talking to Coach Maloney of what he wants to do. He's going to take the ball at the 37. And that's where McBain will take over. Hey, quick shout out, Hawkeye. Bill Barnett listening in.
The legend.
The legend. The legendary Bill Barnett listening in to our call tonight.
Well, I got some shout outs on my list here too, but I saved them to halftime. So remind me, at halftime I got to give some shout outs.
I would have forgot.
I know. I wrote mine down.
I'm an old man.
You're busy calling the game.
Do have a lot going on here. Shotgun formation for the Ramblers. 2 receivers split either way for Seelan in the shotgun. Back to throw. Gavin Seelan. Nice tight spiral this time. Verberkmos working against.
There it is.
Yeah, and the flag will come out late. Trojan fans don't like it, but Hawkeye, I think that's a good call. Verberkmos saw the ball being thrown toward the middle of the field. He tried to get there, and the defender, Ryan Tawiansky, not allowing him to do so. Never looked around and saw the ball, and so the pass interference flag comes out.
You know, we went to the Lions game last weekend, and my son Drew and Caleb both asked me, they said, how come when there's a pass interference in the NFL, they get the ball at where the interference is, but how come in high school, it's only a 10-yard penalty? Why is there a discrepancy? And I told them, in my opinion, it's because in the professionals, the kids expected to catch the ball. In high school, it's still very much in doubt that the catch will be made. That's why you guaranteed the 10 yards.
Right. 15-yard penalty, actually.
50, sorry.
First down for the Ramblers at the 48 of Lake City. Seeland under pressure is going to get dragged down back in Rambler territory, back at the 43-yard line. As the Ramblers going with the Air Maloney offense, but the line not giving Seeland enough time to get that off. Minute 30 remaining here in the first half. 2 receivers again split either way. Tomiansky giving Verberkmos plenty of space. Verberkmos tried to sit underneath the defense. Now he'll take off. And that throw will be inside and incomplete. As Verberkmos would not have been eligible to catch that ball anyway. He ran out of bounds to try and get around the defender.
I tell you what, then on that sack, the offensive line they started yapping at each other and really started to point the finger and some blame. And then what happened on that last one, they took out all their aggression on the defensive line of Lake City, and they're going to throw bodies around on that one.
Minute 17 to go. 3rd and long for the Ramblers, going left to right. 3 receivers to the left. Verberkmos, the lone receiver, to the near side. Seeland will roll to his left. Has some protection, wants to throw. He will underneath for Logan Rodenbaugh, who will take off, and Rodenbaugh will be pulled down inbounds at the 43-yard line, call it the 42 of Lake City. And the timeout will be called by McBain. It's the last timeout of the first half, and it's going to bring up a 4th and about 4 for the Ramblers as I mistakenly circle that number that is not a first down. I got a little early on the circle. Timeout on the field. Don't forget the McBain Hardware halftime show will be coming up, and Hawkeye, you've got a special guest for that.
Yeah, we'll be featuring Dr. Steve Preisel as he'll be giving his analysis of the big rivalry game here in Lake City and just giving his feedback, impressions, opinions, and he's also going to talk about wonderful in-service today, and he's going to take those 30 seconds of boredom and then go back to the
Great. We're going to lose all of our listeners at halftime.
That's right. All right.
That's one of the reasons Jeff Hingston's one of the best PA announcers in the Highland Conference. As he plays a little music to try to get the crowd fired up just before this play by the Ramblers. 4th and 4 with 1:05 to go. Seelan wants to throw underneath, has a man for Berkmos, caught, first down. And now the Ramblers have got to get up and get going. It's a first down at the 35 as Verberkmos makes the catch. But they have no timeouts remaining here in the first half. We have a minute to go as they move the ball and the chains, and they will start the clock. Seelan quickly up to the line. 2 receivers either way. In the shotgun, Vandenbos is your tailback. Seelan fakes to Vandenbos. Throwing underneath for his man, has him on the run. What a catch as he is hit and brought down right away. That catch, was that Camphouse?
That was Camphouse on the
number
catch.
7. It was Justin Camphouse on the catch. Well, good concentration as he was going to take a hit. 43 seconds remaining as they move the chains. It's a first down at the 15-yard line for McBain. Seelan out of the shotgun. Wants to throw, looks quickly to the right, wants for Berkmos in the corner of the end zone, batted, and then incomplete for Berkmos, looking for a flag, and Hawkeye, Garrett might have caught that if he'd kept his concentration on the ball. It landed 6 inches from his head.
Yeah, if he would have been able to pick it up after the batted, he could have made a heroic catch.
It will stop the clock. With 32 seconds remaining here in the first half. You're listening to WCDY, McBain, Cadillac, Lake City. 21-0 Lake City. McBain trying to get on the board. Seelan wants to throw, scrambles to his right. Seelan, pump fake, throwing into the end zone off the hands of Logan Rodenbaugh, stretching out. A very tough catch that would have been for Rodenbaugh, and he's unable to pull it in, and it'll bring up 3rd down now from the 15.
You know, Seelan looked like he had some real estate in front of him, but he had a spy there named Ben Marion, and he made the wise decision to try and throw it for the touchdown instead of trying to outrun Marion.
You like the Magician's chances one-on-one against Ben Marion in that situation? I'm guessing no.
Coin flip. But you're going to stop the clock and then complete pass.
Absolutely.
Which would be a touchdown or an incomplete pass. So.
Yep, throwing into the end zone, the right thing to do. 3rd down now. Seelan wants to throw. Has the corner is intended for George Brown, and he just slung that a little high. And so it'll be 4th down now for McBain with 20 seconds remaining. Trojan Faithful wants them to keep the shutout here in the first half.
Now the thing is, what might be lost is McBain doesn't have to get a touchdown.
They do not.
They would get a reset of downs.
2 receivers split either way for Seelan. Sends Camphouse in motion. Seelan rolling to his right with protection. Seelan throwing into the end zone, back of the end zone for Berkmos. Does not get his feet down. Made the catch at the back of the end zone, but he was led just a little too far. And Garrett could not get the feet in bounds, and so the incompletion means McBain will turn it over on downs, and Lake City will take over at their own 15 with 12 seconds remaining here in the first half.
The offense started to look like it was clicking on that one. Some good opportunities at the end zone. It's a little bit of heartbreaker to come up short on this one.
Absolutely, but maybe you take something out of that into the second half. You feel like you can throw on them. Maybe you look to do that. You got to save time anyway, and incompletions stop the clock. We might see a little more Aaron Maloney in the second half. It also opens up things underneath with Gavin Seelan when you're not worried about the clock. Matthew Holt out of the shotgun, fakes the pitch, takes it himself, dancing through the middle, makes a couple of people miss, still on his feet, over the 35, and finally dragged down at the 38-yard line with 5 seconds remaining, and Lake City will call timeout.
Shifty runner that Holt is. He got him lined up in the sights of Vandenbosch and just takes a little hip move, and he's past him.
23-yard pickup for Matt Holt. And Coach Kyle Smith making the call for the timeout. With 5 seconds remaining, I would expect either a shot at the end zone or something underneath. Try to get one of your athletes in space, see if something will happen. They've got a solid kicker, but I don't think they got enough time to get within his range with just 5 ticks on the clock. Trojans have 2 timeouts remaining, but I don't expect they're going to be able to use them. This is probably the last play of the first half, barring a defensive penalty.
Which we've seen in this game.
We have.
Between these two teams, I mean.
We have. Oh, Hingston just using just those songs with the heart-pounding openings just long enough to get the crowd going.
Yeah,
these key moments.
Like, there's an inferno here, and it's like just throwing a match on him. You don't need to get this crowd pumped up right now.
It is throwing a match on oil-soaked rags, isn't it? Now, here we go. First down from their own 38. Matt Holt in the shotgun. He's got 4 receivers. He'll fake the throw. Rush coming. Throws underneath. Has a man. That is Ben Marion, but he will be dragged down at the 45-yard line, and that will do it for the first half of play. The Lake City Trojans with a 21-0 lead over the McBain Ramblers through 2 quarters. We'll take a quick break and be back with first half thoughts, analysis, and a visit from Dr. Steve Preisel right after this.
Your one-stop farm supply store is Falmouth Co-op in the heart of agriculture country. With locations at Falmouth and McBain, Falmouth Co-op has what you need to keep all your animals well-fed and healthy. Plus, bulk fuel and professional agronomy services like custom fertilizers and spraying and soil and grit sampling. Falmouth Co-op is your premier grain dealer and birdseed headquarters. And the McBain location has pizza, burgers, wings, and appetizers. Stop in today at either location in Falmouth and McBain. Falmouth Co-op is proud to support McBain's student athletes.
Dawn Fresh Catering is committed to serving fresh, homemade foods with an emphasis on using the great Abel's meats our customers love. Let Dawn Fresh Catering provide the food for your party or event. At Abel's General Store, you'll find a wide variety of grocery products, clothing, gifts, and of course, our signature meats. Family owned and operated since 1920, hometown service is our specialty. Dawn Fresh Catering in Abel's General Store in beautiful downtown Falmouth.
Stop into High Point Auto and Truck Center in Cadillac for a great selection of new GMC and Cadillacs. High Point is your premier source for parts, services, tires, accessories, and new and certified used vehicles. We are your one-stop shop for every vehicle need that you may have. At High Point Auto and Truck, customer satisfaction is our goal. High quality, high standards, but low prices at High Point Cadillac GMC, located at exit 177 in Cadillac.
There are 3 kinds of people who get really happy when it snows a lot. Skiers, snowmobilers, and people who just bought a new LS tractor from Eagles Hardware in Falmouth. With a comfortable, roomy, heated cab, plenty of power, expert dealer service, and a 6-year limited warranty, moving snow is no longer a chore. It's a downright pleasure. The more you compare, the more you'll see why you can excel in your field with a new LS tractor from Eagles Hardware. Family owned since 1920 in downtown Falmouth.
Baker College is a comprehensive academic institution with programs ranging from health and engineering to business and technology. Undergraduate and graduate programs are led by award-winning, academically accomplished faculty. Baker College offers the flexibility to provide all students a path toward graduation while striving to cultivate and encourage positive action, critical thought, and the knowledge that students need to head into the world. If you'd like to learn more about joining the ranks of the Baker Proud, call 231-876-3119 today. Kelly's Pizza and Grill in McBain would like to take this opportunity to thank their loyal customers for all their years of support. It's with your patronage that Kelly's Pizza and Grill can continue to support local schools, churches, and charities, not to mention keep serving up great tasting breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. Open 6 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 6 till 10. Always doing their best to serve the McBain community, Kelly's Pizza and Grill, 100 Maple Street in the heart of McBain.
And we're back. District finals here. McBain Ramblers versus Lake City Trojans. This is Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Jay Simon had to take a little bit of a break, so I'm being joined by Dr. Steve Preisel, and he's going to give us his first half stats and evaluation of what is going on here. And the first thing you said to me is what?
They came to play tonight, and Lake City did. What I noticed when I was down close to the field is the windows close so quickly, and I'm not just talking about on the passes because the D-backs have been doing pretty well, but running plays. I mean, the lineback, they close so quick, and so they got to step on us tonight at the end of the half here. Hoping we can punch one in, but I always say if they can do it, why can't we? So why can't we score 21 in the second half? So. I'm staying confident.
Well, when they were playing Lakeview in week 8, they went down by 14 points and had to come back in the second half. And they played 2 different types of halves of football. And it was remarkably noticed that, Maloney does a great job with halftime adjustments. And we will start with the ball. Let's start off the second half. But there was some good things you saw, especially in that last drive. What'd you notice there?
Yeah, well, as you get a couple passes out in the flat there, and passing's really where it had to be, and we weren't even that successful with that in the first half. However, in that last drive, got a couple of passes out there that opened it up a bit. At least gave the Ramblers a little bit more of life, and so if we can protect Sealand and get a little bit of a running game, we get, I believe, 8 yards at the half here, and so something's got to give.
Yeah, that is something we're noticing, and I think one of the biggest bugaboos that we've noticed this first half is that we have to play perfect football if we're going to make a comeback, and every aspect of the game has to be perfect. And one thing I've seen that stall our drives almost as bad as the penalties are the bad snaps.
Right. And I'm not sure exactly why that is. I don't know if it's a temperature or whatever the case may be. With our offense, that exchange is so important for the timing, and that's been a struggle tonight.
And then as you mentioned, the window's so short for Sealand in the backfield that if he doesn't have that ball immediately so he can start processing the next step in the play, there's already people on top of him before he can even scramble to get the ball off or do anything. So
yeah, I mean, he kind of lives on that, where he gets out and creates, and kind of like Aaron Rodgers does in the pros. I mean, when he gets that snap and he gets some pressure, he makes something happen. Sealand plays like that, and so when you don't get that exchange clean and you lose that one quick second, that's going to have an effect.
Look at the Wisconsin native dropping the Green Bay Packer references on us here.
Well, and one of the lucky things I had is I can wear my green and gold Packer hat tonight and match my outfit for the Ramblers. So, yeah.
Well, awesome. Hey, can you give us some of the stats that you have in front of you and just tell us what you bet. We got done?
95 yards passing. Gavin Sealand was 8 for 20. We had 4 catches by Garrett Verberkmos for 35 yards. Logan Rodenbaugh, 2 catches for 20. George Brown, 1 for 20. And Justin Camphouse, 1 for 20. Rushing, as I had mentioned before, we got a total of 8 yards. Sealand with 14, Vandenbos with 9, and Rodenbaugh with a negative number. So, we're on the defensive end. It looks like we've got Verberkmos with 2 tackles, and when in the assist side, Owen Bonico has 10 assists. So it's otherwise it's scattered out, pretty much 1 or 2 assists and tackles for that first half.
All right, now I'm going to put you on the spot on something else. Now, last weekend, Judy K. Gildy put a post. It's a great time to be a Rambler. And we got something else going on that's, believe it or not, even bigger than this game. You want to bring that up to the Rambler fans?
Yeah, we got our cross-country team down at the state finals tomorrow. And so, I shared with, I know the school board, I shared a great picture of all of our kids, varsity boys and girls, and then our junior high athletes. And so they all got together for a picture, and they all, we cleaned house in the Highland with cross country. So awesome year for cross country. They're going to be competing down at state tomorrow. I'll give a little shout out to our Rocket kids, Rocket football. They made the playoffs, and I believe was it last weekend they played down
Last Sunday they got to play at Ferris. Last Sunday.
Yep, and so I know that's a big deal for those kids as they'll be playing on Friday nights here soon.
Yeah, a couple stories. I don't know if you realize this or not, but the Rambler Review, I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but they're everywhere. And they did a 30-second video of the bus leaving the parking lot. That is over 880 views just to watch a bus pull out of the parking lot to go to the state finals. And it's been 22 years since the last time we sent the boys and the girls team. 24 years ago, this is only the third time it happened. 24 years ago was the first time they go. My wife was actually on the first cross-country team for the girls that made it to the States. And they made it to the States because there was only 3 teams in the regions that actually had a girl team. So they had to send all 3 teams regardless of how fast they were. So she always said she ran at States because of lack of participation. We said, just drop the last part of that sentence and just say you ran at States.
Yeah. They've started or they've continued a great tradition. And I know to have boys and girls down there, and like you said, the 800 hits we had on the Rambler Review. It's just it's a testament to our commitment to our community, to our kids.
Well, we're getting ready for some second half action here. You're listening to the McBain Hardware halftime show, and as my brother-in-law says, if they don't have it, you probably don't need it. We're going to go back to the studio for a commercial. You're listening to McBain Rambler Sports on the all-new 107.9 WCDY.
Sportsmanship is still relevant in school sports. Good sportsmanship should be a given at our games. It's one of the primary reasons we have school sports to begin with, to help today's young people become tomorrow's community leaders. You can learn more about sportsmanship and download a full kit of sportsmanship ideas from the MHSA website at mhsaa.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The harsh northern Michigan winter is right around the corner, and that's why you need to heat your house with Holton's LP Gas. Call them today at 231-839-4600. You can contact the office for specials today. And if you're a new customer, they have specials for you as well. Holton's LP Gas has been in Lake City for 30 years, and don't worry, they service the entire listening area. They've got 24/7 live, trained professionals. Holton's LP Gas is a proud sponsor of McBain Athletics.
21-0, your halftime score here in Lake City. The Trojans lead the McBain Ramblers as the Jackson 5 entertain the Lake City faithful, who are, well, it's a party atmosphere, and why not when you've got a 3-touchdown lead over your county rival in the Division 7 district title game. You'd be happy too, without question about that. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Zach Wiggins turning the dials for us back in the studio. Our thanks to Dr. Steve Preisel for joining us at halftime. And Hawkeye, right now, head coach Pat Maloney has his charges and is discussing things with them here at halftime. What sort of adjustments might you expect from Coach Maloney as we head into this second half?
Well, number one, I think he's going to have to re-preach the execution piece, and the offense has to have the good snap and the kids getting the correct blocking assignments out there. Second thing he's going to be doing, I think he's going to go stick with that quick passing attack and then maybe take some chances with Verberkamos trying to out-jump his opponent as he's going down the field. But I think you're really going to have to start spreading the ball. They're looking at Camp House. They're looking at Verberkamos. You got some other receivers. You need to start feeding the ball into them. And once again, this first drive is going to be, it's actually going to be the game maker or breaker.
McBain will get the ball to start the second half, and I would agree with you, Hawkeye. You hate to say that, it's do or die, but you feel like they really need to get points on the board with this drive, or else they're going to really be in a load of hurt here in the second half. Hey, I want to let you know that, again, the streaming of tonight's game brought to you by McLean Transmissions. You can listen to us anywhere in the world where you get a decent internet connection. Head over to 107.9Wcdy.com. Click the game logo over on the right-hand side. You can listen to us via YouTube And our thanks to McLean Transmissions for their support, allowing us to bring you live streaming of McBain Rambler football. For anything transmission related and for quality used cars, head over to McLean Transmissions on LaChance Road between Cadillac and Lake City. Call 779-1394. Tonight's game brought to you as well by McBain Hardware, Judy K. Gildy Photography, Ebels Hardware, McBain Lake City Family Pharmacy, and Crandall Precision. Our sincere thanks to each and every one of those sponsors for allowing us to bring you tonight's game, as well as all year long. Most of those sponsors have been with us all season long as we have brought you Rambler football week in and week out. Here on 107.9 CDY, we've got a final, Hawkeye, from Roscommon. The Roscommon Bucks defeat the Iron Mountain Mountaineers 22-7 to advance to the regional championship game. They win the district title, and they will await the winner of tonight's game. If Lake City holds on and wins, it will be here in Lake City. If McBain were to come back and upset the Bucks, it would be in Roscommon. So Roscommon fans, I'm sure, if they have found us via the internet and are listening in, they're hoping for a Rambler comeback, because I'm sure they'd love to host the regional title game. Meanwhile, the Trojans want another home game. I'm sure that concession stand wants another home game. I went down there, Hawkeye, while you were interviewing Coach Dr. Preisel. There was no point in even trying to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
It is absolutely. We need a production assistant for these broadcasts just to go fetch us stuff from the delicious.
But there's still no waiting
stand
at the food factory.
There's still no waiting. No, the entire community of Lake City is here, and probably 2/3 of the McBain community is here as well. It's a good-sized crowd on the far side of the field supporting these Ramblers, and they're hoping for a bit of a turnaround in the second half.
Hey, I got some shout-outs I'd like to do here
Please
at halftime. Hey, shout-out to Terry from Huntington Electric. Josh and Kristen are listening to us back home. Steph, she sent her sister Sam here with us, but she's staying home where it's nice and warm. Lars is just pulling his hair out, yelling at us through the radio with
Lars.
Ayla and Annalise and Daniela there listening also. So big shout-out to those Rambler fans.
Alex Utek just went by us. He had his dad get him a hot dog early because he knew he wouldn't have enough time as he helps out with the coaching box and stuff. We should have tackled him and took his hot dog.
When's the last time you made a tackle on a quarterback?
Never.
There we go.
Nope. 21-0 our score here at halftime as the Trojans and the Ramblers back out on the field warming up. The magical 3 extra minutes have been put back on the clock, and we've got about that much time remaining until the start of the second half. As mentioned, McBain will get the ball to start the second half. That is important. Run down the scoring for you from the first half. It's been all Trojans. They got a 16-yard touchdown catch by Taylor Butkovich. Had to go find his name. Taylor coming in, and as I had to try and find his name, the Ramblers had to try and find him on the field. He found himself wide open underneath on that play. No Rambler accounted for him. The extra point put the Trojans up 7-0 after the opening possession. After a couple of punts from both teams, the Trojans forced another Rambler punt, got the ball at their own 42, and then went 58 yards, culminating in a 13-yard Matthew Holt touchdown run. Extra point made it 14-0. That was our score at the half. Ramblers put together a solid drive, started at their own 40, got down to the 31-yard line of the Trojans, and then went backward and ended up turning it over on downs, going for it on 4th and 10 from the 39. And the Trojans took advantage, got the ball back at their own 39, and marched 61 yards, culminating in a Miles McLeod 2-yard touchdown run. The extra point made it 21-0 Lake City, and that is where we stand right now. The Ramblers, with 2 minutes remaining in the half, went from their own 37 to the Trojan 15 at a first down at the 15, but 4 consecutive incomplete passes turned it back over to Lake City, and that's how the first half ended. And I speculated that we might see a little more Air Maloney in this second half. I can't recall. Did you agree or not?
I did. I said I was looking at a lot of short passes. for the adjustment for the second half to kind of take the lid. But, you know, when you have a little bit more time on the clock, it does open the middle of the field again for passes where they're trying to get the time. So it's either in the end zone or out to the sides.
Well, it opens the field, and I also think it gives Gavin Seelan, as you very astutely pointed out, when he had room to run, he was throwing into the end zone because he didn't have time to run and get tackled in the open field, and he couldn't take that chance. With time on the clock, now Seeland is a threat to run if they back off of him too much. So maybe softening up the linebackers of the Trojans will give Gavin Seeland a chance to do a little magic with his feet as well.
Yeah, the magician needs to be pulling some rabbits out of his hat right now because McBain has their back against the wall, but they are cagey fighters.
No quit in that team without question. This has been the McBain Hardware Halftime Show. Stop in, see Ron or Tyler for all your hardware needs. As Gary's brother-in-law will tell you, if McBain Hardware doesn't have it, hey, you probably don't need it. Ramblers will take the second half kickoff. And this is booted deep to George Brown III. It will bounce and go into the end zone just barely, fortunately for the Trojans. That's the difference between the 20 and the 35. As McBain will start from their own 20-yard line here in the second half. We'll note tonight's broadcast also brought to you in part by McBain Rural Agricultural Schools, Holden's LP Gas, McBain Auto Service, and Kelly's Pizza and Grill. Ramblers come out with Auden Ealing in the slot on the near side along with Garrett Verberkmos. Ealing now in motion, will take it on the jet sweep. Nope. Seelan kept it himself, and then Seelan had nowhere to go. Seelan wrapped up and deposited rudely by Walker Herrick, the junior defensive lineman.
And fullback.
And an emergency fullback.
Now that just looked like Seelan lost his footing on that one.
Takes the Ramblers back to the 17-yard line. 2nd and 13 for McBain. Trips to the right for Seelan as they go left to right. Seelan looks left, now comes back, firing in the middle, and he is picked off. There is a flag on the play after the throw came out, but the interception on the inside by Skylar Miller, the senior. We'll see if the flag came after the throw or prior. It is a hold on the Ramblers, and so it is irrelevant. And the Trojans quickly snuff out the opening drive by McBain, and they'll have a first down at the Rambler 12-yard line.
As we said, the opening drive was going to be key. This couldn't have gone any worse than it has so far.
Yep. Gavin Seelan trying to force that ball into a tiny hole. And Skylar Miller stepping in front of it. And it's a first down now for the Trojans as they come out with McLeod and Thome. Thome will follow McLeod around the left edge, tripped up over the 10-yard line and stopped at about the 8 gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 for the Trojans. Just underway here in the third quarter. Lake City with a 21-0 lead, and this second half could not have started any worse for McBain. An interception and a short field for the Trojans. Matt Holt, senior quarterback, will fake the Thome, rolling to his right, wants to throw, throwing for the edge of the end zone. Diving catch is not made, incomplete. As I believe Ben Marion laying out horizontally, going for that one, had it in his hands, but could not corral it. And now we've got
Garrett Verberkmos.
Referee timeout. Yeah, Garrett Verberkmos is going to limp off the field. I think they thought he was more seriously injured than he was, and he may still be seriously injured, but he got up and jogged off the field under his own power, definitely limping. He is walking around, though.
I think the wind got knocked out of him.
That could be. If you lay out with him and you land on something funny, that could happen. So it'll be 3rd and 6 now for the Trojans. They can get a first down, need to get to the 2. They are at the 8. Holt in the backfield with Thome in the pistol. He's got McLeod to his left. He's going to take it himself around the left edge, driving into the pile, and he is drilled and dropped. Noah Hendrickson, Bam stepping up and dropping Holt at the 9-yard line. So a 1-yard loss will make it 4th down now and 7 for Lake City, and we might see a field goal attempt here.
Well, that's smart football. We'd rather see him go for it. That gives McBain a better chance of stopping him here.
Mika Schwab is the senior kicker. He's got 3 extra points already. This will be marked at the left hash. At about the 16-yard line, this will be about a 26-yard field goal try. High snap brought down. Schwab makes good contact, but he's going to come up just short on the field goal try. So the Rambler defense holds and keeps the Trojans from getting any points on that turnover. And psychologically, Hawkeye, that's huge.
That is huge, and the offense now really wants to come and answer the bell on that one. So we'll see how they do.
Now they marked it at the 20. Is that where it goes for a missed field goal no matter what? Or, I thought it was from where the ball was kicked from.
That's pros.
Everything is different in the pros.
That's right.
Damn pros. All right. Sealand will keep it himself, tries the left side, and the ball is on the turf. And the Trojans say they have it, and they do. When it rains, it pours. And right now, the Ramblers are soaked. Trojans will take over at the 25-yard line of the Ramblers. .9:42 to go. Lake City will get another opportunity with a short field. Trojans going right to left. Matt Holt in the shotgun with Thome. Fakes to Thome, rushes to his left. Room to run through the hole, inside the 5 and down. 1st and goal. Lake City at the 2-yard line as Matt Holt got the blocking he needed. And he's got the Trojans knocking on the door of a 4th touchdown.
And the big fullback's back in the game for the Trojans.
Yes, he is. Walker Herrick comes out and will likely play fullback. We'll see if Miles McLeod is the tailback behind him. This is the look they got the other 2-yard touchdown with, and McLeod is out there. Actually, they're going to put McLeod to the left in the shotgun, not the I formation. Holt will follow Herrick, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Lake City. 27-0, the Lake City Trojans with the lead. As the Trojan faithful are enjoying this one. Extra point attempt is good.
You know, every win is sweet, but some wins are a little bit sweeter than others. McBain's going to have to try and put a little sour taste in the mouth with this drive now.
28-0, Lake City with the lead. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this.
Dawn Fresh Catering is committed to serving fresh, homemade foods with an emphasis on using the great Abel's meats our customers love. Let Dawn Fresh Catering provide the food for your party or event. At Abel's General Store, you'll find a wide variety of grocery products, clothing, gifts, and of course, our signature meats. Family owned and operated since 1920, hometown service is our specialty. Dawn Fresh Catering in Abel's General Store in beautiful downtown Falmouth.
And welcome back to Lake City High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Zach Wiggins turned the dials for us back in the studio. The Lake City Trojan faithful, just about the entire town. Party atmosphere here in Lake City as they have a 28-0 lead over the McBain Ramblers as this kickoff taken by Auden Ealing around his 10-yard line, and Ealing trying to avoid several red jerseys, does manage to turn it upfield and gets it out past the 15-yard line. Auden Ealing runs about 60 yards to pick up 5, but he does get positive yards, and that's where McBain will take over. With 8:57 remaining here in the third quarter. If you're just joining us, the Roscommon Bucks defeated the Iron Mountain Mountaineers 22-7. And they await the winner of this one in the regional championship game.
Guaranteeing that McBain will not have another home game this season.
That is absolutely true. Roscommon with more playoff points than McBain, but not more than Lake City. Trojans would host if they were to advance. Gavin Seelan immediately over the left side and then dropped at about the 25-yard line. He's going to be very close to a Rambler first down, and we might see a few instances, Hawkeye, of an angry magician running out of the shotgun here in the second half. Call it the 16. McBain needs to get to the 26. Seelan will take it again. Seelan again over the left side. Tripped up, but not before. Picking up a Rambler first down at the 31. We have a whistle.
And a flag for a late hit.
Somebody on the turf still. Is that Seelan?
Yes.
We have a late contact coming in. We got some discussion. And Seelan's actually going to be taken off the field. It is a personal foul, so this is going to take it all the way up to the 46-yard line.
Time for George Brown.
The second string quarterback, but the third in his family.
String quarterback.
Ball marked just over the 45-yard line, 8.5 minutes remaining. As Logan Vandenbosch sets up to his right, trips to the right, I expect George Brown will run right toward us, and that's exactly what he does. George Brown III is swallowed up by a host of red jerseys who I'm going to guess, Hawkeye, probably thought the same thing I did. Gain of about a yard at the 47. It'll bring up 2nd and 9 as Seelan returns at quarterback, took the one play off, and he is back on the field. Brown and Camphouse, your receivers to the far side, Verberkmos and Rodenbaugh to the near side, Vandenbosch in the backfield with Seelan. Gavin Seelan fakes to Vandenbosch, throwing immediately underneath, hits Camphouse on a little slant. Camphouse across midfield over the 40-yard line and brought down at the 38, and he has a Rambler first down. The nice catch as Gavin Seelan found a very tiny hole to throw that ball through.
And he threw a missile.
He did. Nice job by Camphouse to hang on to that.
Did he catch it, or did it get embedded into his shoulder?
It may have been embedded in him. Ramblers look to the sideline for the play call as they go no huddle. Seelan in the shotgun again, 2 receivers split either way. Vandenbosch is the tailback. Seelan wants to throw. Looking up the left sideline and overthrows George Brown III. Tight coverage by Devin Davis. Not a lot of room for Brown. They have left Verberkmos defended on the near side, as he has been most of the game, by Ryan Talianoski. Seelan now wants to throw again, this time firing, hits Verberkmos. Verberkmos makes a couple people miss, still on his feet. And another nice block, and Verberkmos up the left sideline is finally brought down inside the 20-yard line. Garrett Verberkmos basically looked like he was swimming upstream against an ocean of red, and he made enough people miss, got a block or two, and picks up some extra yards after the catch down to the 18-yard line. It's a first down for McBain.
Big shout out to the Camphouse and Logan Rodenbaugh for being backside wide receiver blocks after the pass was thrown.
Seelan in the shotgun. First down from the 18. High snap. Seelan will bring it down. Seelan trying to follow his man, and he is going to take it up about a yard to the 17-yard line. Logan Rodenbaugh blocking on that side at the wide receiver position. You saw him, Hawkeye, as his Trojan defender twisted away from him, just threw his hands in the air like, hey, I'm not holding this guy.
That's right, but he didn't get his body out of the way either, though, you know.
6.5 minutes remaining here in the third. It's a 28-0 Lake City lead. McBain trying to get on the board. They've got 1 receiver split to the left, 2 receivers to the near side. Camphouse is in the slot. Verberkmos to the near side, far right. Seelan rolling right, looking for somebody in the back of the end zone, and now he's going to run out of bounds inside the 15, steps out at about the 14-yard line. And we've got a flag in the Rambler backfield, which is never a good thing. And it is going to be a hold against McBain.
You know, I hate to call anybody out, but Lake City has such small windows for execution for McBain. The snaps have to be perfect. And even high snaps are throwing.
They do. They throw the timing off. They do throw the timing off slightly.
And you got to be perfect right now.
Ball marked back at the 34-yard line. Camphouse in motion. Seelan rolling to his left. Wants Camphouse on a wheel route. He'll pull it down, heading upfield and hit low and high, spinning over top of the defender, dropped at about the 22-yard line. 12-yard pickup. But he is not back to the line of scrimmage, original line of scrimmage. And it will bring up 3rd and long now for McBain.
Yeah, but there's the very few plays you have in the playbook to get all that yards back.
Nope.
And you just realize you got
two down
more
territory.
downs.
Yep.
You take big chunks when you can get big chunks.
Ramblers looking to Maloney for the call on the sideline. For Verberkmos and Rodenbaugh, your receivers to the near side. Camphouse and George Brown III to the far side. They send Camphouse in motion. Handoff is to Vandenboss, straight up the middle. Vandenboss barreling his way over one defender, over the 15, and dropped just outside the 10-yard line. Give him the 11. An 11-yard pickup for Vandenboss, who's been pretty quiet in this one, Hawkeye. Hasn't had many carries. And he's got the Ramblers in a 4th and short situation. 4th and about 3 now for McBain. Trips to the left. Now Camphouse and Rodenbaugh will come to the right. Trips to the right. Sealand out of the shotgun. Rolling to his right. Lofts one too high, intended for Logan Rodenbaugh, but we've got a flag in the defensive backfield.
I'm looking at holding on the defense. Or hoping for holding in the defense.
Well, it is a hold.
Take the verb.
Based on the indication of the back judge. And I don't know why an offensive player would be holding in that situation. And they weren't. It was a defensive player. So the Trojans are going to give the Ramblers a 1st and goal. 4:36 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. And it'll be 1st and goal from the 6. Pistol formation. Seelan gives it to Vandenboss. Vandenboss up the middle, spins away from one defender, and then dropped at about the 2-yard line. So it'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 2. As we get inside, 4:15 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Trojans lead at 28-0. McBain trying to get on the board.
This is where you need perfect execution. You can't walk away this deep and not have points.
Trips to the right. Sealan in the shotgun. He'll follow Vandenboss and burrowing his way. Hit, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Ramblers.
All right, they broke the lid. It's time to see what they're going to do here.
Sealan gets into the end zone behind Vandenboss. 3:55 to go. No idea if the mics picked that up. I feel like I got to address it. It's like, really? Everybody's entitled to their opinion. George Brown III's extra point attempt is good. And so with 3:55 remaining here in the 3rd quarter, Lake City 28, McBain 7. We'll take a quick break and be back right after this.
High school students are training for the jobs of tomorrow today at the Wexford Misaki Career Technical Center in Cadillac. Juniors and seniors from 12 area high schools can choose from 14 career-driven programs. Free college credit is available. Visit WMISD.org and click or tap the Career Technical Education link. See all the great programs, then talk to your student's counselor. Call 876-2200. The Wexford Misaki Career Technical Center on 13th Street across from Baker College. Proud to serve the students of McBain High School. CTC is the place to be.
Welcome back to Lake City High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanek. Zach Wiggins turning the dials for us back in the studio. 3:55 remaining here in the third quarter as the McBain Ramblers have gotten on the board a 2-yard touchdown run from Gavin Seeland. Extra point has made it 28-7 Lake City as the Ramblers will kick off. George Brown III with that ball turned sideways will send it straight up the middle. It is off a Trojan, and did the Ramblers pick it up?
They did.
They did. The kick from George Brown III, similar to what we saw last week against Pine River, ricocheting off one of the Trojans' up men.
And Owen Bonico
bouncing back. The Ramblers wrapping it up. So McBain now with another opportunity, a first down at the 48-yard line of Lake City. Pistol formation. Seeland with 2 receivers split either way. Camphouse in motion. He'll give it to Vandenbos. Vandenbos up the middle, sheds a tackle. Vandenbos overrunning another defender over the 40, the 35, and brought down at the 34-yard line. First down Ramblers as Logan Vandenbos, Hawkeye, beginning to assert himself offensively.
Well, it looks like the line is starting to fire now a little bit, too. They're not playing on their heels. Maybe a little bit downhill, but there's still a mountain to climb.
Trips to the right. Camphouse is your slot receiver, along with Rodenbaugh for Burkmos to the near side. George Brown III to the far side. Seeland with Vandenbos. Seeland will follow Vandenbos over the right side, makes a man miss. And then he is wrapped up by a couple of red jerseys after getting over the 30-yard line down to the 27, gain of 7, and it'll bring up 2nd and 3 for McBain. As we get to 3 and 10 remaining here in the third quarter. Plenty of time on the clock, but as you mentioned, Hawkeye, a long mountain to climb. Rodenbaugh in motion, Seeland out of the pistol. Gives it to Vandenbos. Vandenbos, this time, plenty of red jerseys, keeping an eye on him, and he will be wrapped up at about the 25. Give him a couple, and it'll bring up 3rd and short, call it about 2 for McBain. 2 and 45 remaining here in the third.
Well, it looks like McBain's focusing the run game on the inside between the tackles right now.
Trips to the right, Seeland rolling to his right, tucks it immediately, cuts inside a Vandenbos block, and he's going to get brought down. We're going to mark this just the other side of the 25. Really no gain. It's still going to be about 2 yards to go. Fourth, call it 4th and a very long yard right now for McBain. Yeah, you definitely want to get points out of this. Ramblers come out with trips to the right. George Brown III lined up alone to the far left. From the right hash, Seeland out of the shotgun. Seeland following Vandenbos, penetration from Miles McLeod, and he drops Seeland in the backfield for a loss, and it's a turnover on downs. Miles McLeod, the standout linebacker, bursting through a hole on the right side of the line, and the Ramblers turn it over on downs. What a play from McLeod.
Yeah, Smith sold out on that one. He went with the run blitz, expecting McBain to run and fill every single gap up there. There's just more red hats in there than you could have white jerseys.
So Lake City will take over at their own 27-yard line with 1:50 remaining here in the third quarter. So now the Rambler defense, let's see what they can do. Here's a quick screen pass to Davis, who sheds 1 tackle, and then up the sideline, stepping out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. going to be very close to a first down for Lake City. Auden Ealing had an opportunity at Davis, but Davis able to evade Ealing's tackle attempt. And it is a first down for the Trojans. Minute 43 remaining here in the third. 28-7, Lake City with the lead and the ball going right to left. I formation behind Holt. He'll give it to Thome. Thome over the right side with room to run. Thome still on his feet. Finally dragged down. Somebody got it by the ankles late, but he takes it all the way up to the 49-yard line. 12-yard gain is another Trojan first down. It's a legitimate trumpet in the crowd. That's fantastic.
I think that's actually, is that Larry Collins over there with the trumpet? Former band teacher and...
He's right there in front of us, actually. 1st and 10 from the 49 for the Trojans.
Ben Marion's grandpa.
Holt out of the I formation, gives it to Thome. Thome is going to get grabbed and dropped in the backfield. Noah Hendrickson does a nice job of snagging Jersey, and he'll bring him down back at the 46. It's a 3-yard loss, and it'll bring up 2nd and 13 as we get underneath a minute to go here in the third quarter. 28-7, Lake City with the lead. Winner advances to the regional championship game against the Roscommon Bucks, who beat the Iron Mountain Mountaineers 22-7 earlier tonight. Lake City holds on. They'll host. McBain comes back. They'd be on the road. Screen pass for Davis, and a nice tackle that time. Ealing getting a hold of the leg and dropping Davis shy of the original line of scrimmage. Give him the 48, gain of 2. It'll bring 3rd and 11.
Holt's high pass out to Davis really makes it hard for Davis to plant and to make any type of move. And so...
Well, he had to throw it high because of the pressure coming from the right side.
Right, but Ealing just had to wait for him before he came down and make a hit on him. That way you don't have to worry about him going a different direction. But they're ready to go to the fourth quarter right now.
That they are. They will let the clock run down. 3 quarters in the books. 12 minutes remain in this one. 28-7. Lake City leads McBain. District 7 district title game. Division 7 district title game. We'll take a break. Fourth quarter coming up right after this.
Stop into High Point Auto and Truck Center in Cadillac for a great selection of new GMC and Cadillacs. High Point is your premier source for parts, services, tires, accessories, and new and certified used vehicles. We are your one-stop shop for every vehicle need that you may have. At High Point Auto and Truck, customer satisfaction is our goal. High quality, high standards, but low prices at High Point Cadillac GMC, located at exit 177 in Cadillac.
Baker College is a comprehensive academic institution with programs ranging from health and engineering to business and technology. Undergraduate and graduate programs are led by award-winning, academically accomplished faculty. Baker College offers the flexibility to provide all students a path toward graduation while striving to cultivate and encourage positive action, critical thought, and the knowledge that students need to head into the world. If you'd like to learn more about joining the ranks of the Baker Proud, call 231-876-3119 today.
Fourth quarter underway here in Lake City. As before the quarter starts, we're going to get a Trojan timeout. Apparently they want to discuss that even longer despite the break.
They had the wrong offensive set out there.
Okay, I will take your word for that. 3rd and 11 coming up for Lake City here at Lake City High School. They've got a 28-7 lead as we start the fourth quarter. We'll keep it right here because of the timeout called by the Trojans, their first of the half. I want to let you know this broadcast brought to you in part by Northern Truck Service, Huttinga Electric, Burkholder Family Funeral Home, McNally's Party Store, and White Pine Outdoor Boilers. Our sincere thanks to each and every one of our sponsors for allowing us to bring you this broadcast, which I will also mention. The broadcast of today's game, it's a copyrighted presentation of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and 107.9 CDY. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distribution of the description or accounts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the MHSAA. And 107.9 CDY is out of the timeout. Devin Davis up the right sideline. The timeout a little quicker than I thought. Catch catches the pass from Matthew Holt. It bounces off of his chest, but he's able to reel it back in on the run and takes it into the end zone. And the Trojans answer the Rambler TD to go back up 34-7 with the extra point upcoming.
Yeah, McBain's starting to hang their heads right now, and they got still 11 minutes and 51 seconds of football to go. So that was just a heartbreak play right there. Maybe a backbreaker.
Yeah, no question about that. That's a tough one. Got him in a 3rd and long situation. As the extra point is good. And it is 35-7. Lake City with the lead over McBain. Tell you what, too, Mika Schwab, can't overlook that. Mika Schwab is an extra point kicker, 5 for 5 now. It's an important weapon to remember. A lot of teams don't have that luxury. 11:51 remaining in this one as the Trojans not had a lot of necessarily big plays. That one's certainly a very big play. They've been able to grind it forward. The Ramblers have put them in a couple of 3rd and long, 4th and long situations, but the Trojans have been able to answer almost every time. Schwab will kick off and send this one to George Brown, who picks it up inside his 10-yard line. He'll try the right side. Brown with room to run. Brown still on his feet over the 30, 35, and then finally brought down over the 35-yard line out to the 37. Nice run back by George Brown III. And that's where McBain will take over with 11:42 remaining in the game.
But this time, McBain's going to have to start scoring quickly, and they've done a little bit of a switch as they moved Owen Bonico off to the right tackle, and then Caleb Bauman is the left guard.
Seelan wants to throw immediately, has Verberkmos on the right side. Verberkmos leaping over his defender, takes it over into Lake City territory and has a first down at the 48-yard line of the Trojans.
You know, when you see this offensive line like they have right now with the interior of Outman, it's going to be passing. So they're selling out what their play selection will be at this moment.
Well, and I think they're hoping and counting on the Trojans giving them space underneath because they don't want to get burned deep. This time they'll hand it off to Auden Ealing, and Ealing, without a lot of room, takes it up for a yard or so, give him the 47-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd and 9 now for McBain as they use Ealing to keep the defense honest. Logan Vandenbosch now not on the field. Ealing is your tailback in the shotgun with Seelan, the same 4 receivers we've had for most of this game. Camphouse, one of them in motion. Camphouse dump off to Ealing, and Ealing will take it up over the 45-yard line on a little pass into the flat. Brought down at the 43-yard line. It'll be 3rd and a long 4, call it almost 5. Seelan again in the shotgun as the Ramblers go no huddle. 4 receivers, that ball goes through his hands. He picks it up. Now he'll throw, looking deep for Verberkmos, and it is broken up by the Trojans. Yeah, it'll be 4th down and 5 now for McBain.
Yeah, big play on that one by Devin Davis as he's just patrolling center field out there on the deep balls, and he's going to just rotate over, shade a little bit towards Verberkmos' way to make sure that he has to go through double coverage to get it.
Should point out the snap on that last play, not a bad snap, just went through the hands of Seelan, who was thinking about what he wanted to do with it. Trips to the left for Seelan in the shotgun. He'll roll to his left. Wants to throw underneath, has a man, Logan Rodenbaugh, and he's got the first down over the 35-yard line down to the 34. So a nice job by Gavin Seelan under pressure to find Rodenbaugh. And McBain picks up a key first down with 10:29 to go here in the ballgame.
I think he was hoping to run that one, but he had the pass option and had to utilize it.
Seelan looks to the wrist after the play signal from Pat Maloney. Still with Ealing in the backfield. Seelan looks left, looks right, brings it down, rolls right. Seelan running for the sideline, throws underneath and knocked away. Nice job by Davis to get around Logan Rodenbaugh without hitting him from behind and knocking that play away. That's an excellent play by the defensive back. 2nd and 10 now for McBain. Clock will stop with 10:11 to go in the game. Ramblers get the play call. Seelan out of the shotgun, rolling to his right, looking upfield. Now he'll step forward and will get tripped up, falling to about the 30-yard line, which is what they will give him. Gain of about 4. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6 now for McBain. Now, this is what, Hawkeye, this is the point in the game I think you find out kind of what your kids are made of, too. It would be really easy to hang your head and not give your full effort at this point.
It's a character drive as much as a regular drive.
Absolutely. Logan Rodenbaugh in motion. Seelan back to throw, looking, firing underneath. Is that intercepted? It is not. It hit the turf as Skylar Miller almost had another interception. Would have been just as impressive as the first one, laying full out for that throw. Not sure Rodenbaugh even knew it was coming that quickly. He was still moving upfield. Miller the only one with a chance to catch it. And it brings up 4th and 6 now for McBain. Seelan fakes the Vandenbos, rolling to his left. Under pressure, wants to throw, looking for George Brown in the end zone, and hits the pylon as he overshot both Brown and Camphouse, who were in the area. He did have Logan Rodenbaugh open across the middle, but that's easy to say when you're sitting up here in the press box.
That's right.
You don't have a bunch of red jerseys chasing you. It's a tough thing to see. So with 9:23 remaining in the game, Lake City will take it back on downs as they get the stop. And the Rambler defense will have to come back out. You're listening to WCDY, McBain, Cadillac, Lake City. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Zach Wiggins turning the dials for us back in the studio. I formation for the Trojans. Handoff to Thome. Thome leaping over the defensive line and then grabbed by Verberkmos and spun to the ground from behind. Helped up off the turf by Auden Ealing. And he is out to the 35-yard line. Gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5, as I expect we will see heavy doses of Noah Thome out of this I formation, as Coach Kyle Smith, maybe wisely protecting Matt Holt by not putting him in the shotgun and having him run the ball. It's, in my mind, a smart thing. That Holt too important to your offense.
Yeah, last year he got injured in the McBain game, and that was really stifled the Lake City offense.
Yep. They stay in the I formation. Lone receiver to the far side. Handoff to Thome. Penetration from the Ramblers. Seelan had a shot at him. Didn't get him in the backfield. Thome able to turn it upfield, and he'll get up to the 37-yard line. Gain of a couple. It'll bring up 3rd and 3 now for Lake City. 8:24 remaining in the ball game. One of those situations where the Ramblers have to just take shots at it like that and take the risk of getting burned. Hope that your free safety can help you out if something else happens, but you got to take the risks and you got to bring the house because you got to get a stop.
You got to get the ball back because, you know, in 8 minutes you can expect maybe 2 more times with the ball, and you have to create something else for the other 2.
3rd and 3 for Lake City as they come out again in the I formation. Davis, the lone receiver, to the near side, going left to right. Holt wants to throw under pressure, throws, looking for Ben Marion, who lays out, and we got flags on the play from both the back judge and the line judge, and they will come communicate and see if they saw the same thing.
But it won't be against the defender on the ball.
The line judge threw a flag on the near side, which would imply it was on the player defender defending against Davis because the ball was intended for Marion. It is a hold on the Ramblers, so defensive holding is before the ball is thrown. So based on what we heard from the Lake City fans, this clearly means that the referees want Lake City to win now, right? Is that that's what I learned listening
you know what?
to the Trojan Faithful. No?
These refs have called a fantastic game.
They have called a fantastic game. I agree 100%.
This is playoff refing officiating right now.
I agree 100%. Here's a pitch to Thome. Thome will turn it upfield and tripped up at the last moment there by George Brown III, who felt like he was held. Somehow still got the tackle. It'll be second and about 6. Ball marked just into McBain territory at midfield. .7:03 and ticking to go here in the final quarter. I formation for the Trojans. Holt, fake, throwing underneath and caught by Marion. Yeah, somehow kept onto it. Boy, Garrett Verberkmos came up and got a lick on Ben Marion, who managed to hang on to that ball as he was getting twisted around and brought to the turf. And he is going to be right at the first down marker, and we are going to get a measurement. I feel like I need to elaborate real quick on my joke. Obviously, all fan bases feel like the referees are against their teams. It's not a surprising thing in the least, and so it's everybody's entitled. But in my opinion, as you already pointed out, I'm not a big fan of fans that complain about the officials. These guys are essentially volunteers. They're not paid much to do this in the least. It is a thankless job, as you can tell.
Thankless? If that was all it was, that'd be fine.
Yeah, that'd be true.
It's more than thankless.
Yeah. Shy of the first outs. It's going to be a 3rd and short now for the Trojans. They are tireless. They work hard. They study. As the handoff is to McLeod. McLeod makes a man miss, still on his feet, driving and turning his legs, and then finally brought down as Auden Ealing got a hold of him and brought him back, but he is over the 35 to the 32-yard line. It is a first down for the Trojans. Anyway, point being, they deserve our respect and admiration for going out there and doing that. If they didn't do it, you couldn't do this. Couldn't have these games without MHSAA officials. So our thanks to tonight's crew. They've, as mentioned, done a fantastic job. And, you know, we can joke that fan bases always think the referees are bad or against their team, but the fact of the matter is, I don't think fans should even joke about that. I think they should show them respect. As Holt makes the fake in the backfield and then jailbreak from the defenders, as that play looked like it might have been a busted play. I'm not sure if that's what Holt wanted to do in that situation. And so he ends up back at the 35-yard line. It'll bring up second and about 13. And I'm not just saying that because you're one of JJ's favorites and he's probably listening.
Well, that's probably.
It's true. So I'm not saying that just because he may be listening. I genuinely mean that.
Well, he might actually be watching on the Rambler Review, which
that's true.
Is in a secret group that only can be released an hour after the game for the general public to watch.
5:35 remaining in this one as there's a little pass. Ben Marion floated into the backfield, and Marion diving for the end zone is in for the touchdown. Ben Marion releasing off the line, Hawkeye, got into the middle of the secondary and nobody picked him up. Matthew Holt lofting it over the top of the defense. Marion with the catch and then drags a couple of white jerseys into the end zone. And the Trojans now go up 41-7 with a Schwab extra point attempt upcoming. Schwab's extra point is good. 42-7. Lake City firmly in control of this one. We'll take a quick break and be back to Lake City High School right after this.
We've all been there. We rely on our vehicles more than ever to get us where we need to go, safe and sound. McBain Auto Service is open Monday through Friday and are fully licensed and insured to serve you. With over 50 years combined experience, they specialize in everything from brakes to engine repair with no job too big or small. Stop in for a safety inspection. McBain Auto Service, located at 9438 South Maury Road in McBain, or call 231-825-2729.
And welcome back to Lake City High School. Jay Simon along Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Zach Wiggins turning the downs for us back in the studio. 5:23 remaining in this one. It's a 42-7 Lake City lead. And the corpulent XY chromosome holder is warming up her vocals in this one, as the Trojans look like they are going to take home some district title hardware and play host to the Roscommon Bucks in a regional title game next week here on this field, as George Brown III picks up the kickoff and takes it back to the McBain 15-yard line, and that's where McBain will take over. Mika Schwab, as a kicker, I've been very impressed. With only one deep man, he simply kicks it away from him, but he doesn't kick it far enough to where it goes into the end zone, forcing you to pick it up and allowing the Trojans to cover. I almost feel like you got to have two guys back in that situation. So the Ramblers will take over now, first down at their own 15 with 4:45 remaining in this one, as Gavin Seelan trying to keep it himself. Nowhere to go. It's dropped in the backfield, loss of a yard at the 14-yard line. Two receivers split either way for Seelan. Shotgun formation, fakes to Vandenbos, throwing underneath, and it is caught. Nice job there by Camphouse or Verberkmos. That's Verberkmos. And the ball will be marked at the 20. It'll be 3rd and 5 now for McBain.
Josh Hart, the junior, checks into the game for McBain. A wide receiver on the near side.
Yep, lined up to the far outside. And Seelan wants to throw to him and has him. Caught outside the 30. It's a first down. And they're going to say he was down at the 39-yard line. Forward progression had stopped him. So Josh Hart checks into the game, immediately makes a catch, and he's got a first down for McBain at the 34-yard line.
Senior Austin Abbott checks in the tailback for McBain. I wouldn't be surprised if they give him the ball right away for his last game of his career.
They fake it to him. Seelan under pressure, scrambling to his right. Seelan will throw it deep, looking for Camphouse, and it is caught. Battling for it, Camphouse and the defender, and Justin Camphouse comes up with it. He's got a first down in Lake City territory. What a catch by Camphouse. We do have a flag back in the backfield, but the Ramblers are moving forward as the referee pockets it. I don't know if this is a late hit.
That's what I would assume, but you wouldn't pocket that. You would add it to the end of the catch.
Well, unless he just pocketed it so he can move forward with everybody. I don't know. Ball is going to be marked at about the 29-yard line, and they will mark this off. It is a personal foul, roughing the passer, so that's going to take it all the way up to the 14. I will honestly tell you, I've never had so much support for a single team that I feel like they could never do anything wrong.
Jacob Bovin in the game at guard for the Ramblers.
Trips to the left. Seelan wants to throw under pressure, scrambling left, avoids the tackle. And Seelan firing into the end zone, looking into the corner, and threw it right where he needed to. The only person who had a chance to make that catch was Ethan Barton, but Barton unable to come up with it, and it will stop the clock the clock will continue to run. We are in the second half, 2:35 to go in the game. 35-point differential in the second half means a running clock. Barton will line up alone to the near side. Now joined by Camphouse and Rodenbaugh. Seelan in the shotgun. Thielen rolling to his left, throwing underneath for Rodenbaugh. Logan Rodenbaugh will take it around the left side, and that will be brought down right away. Slow to get up. It's been a rough game, both sides of the ball, without question.
Well,
third down now and 8.
Kids playing with passion.
Absolutely.
And they're playing all out. They know each other, and they want to beat each other.
Absolutely. Thielen rolling to his right, being chased, throws it into the end zone. Camphouse does not come up with it. Fine attempt from Camphouse. And it will bring up 4th down now for the Ramblers. Minute 25 remaining and ticking as the Ramblers now with a 4th down from the 13-yard line. The play call from Coach Maloney. Austin Abbott is your tailback with Gavin Thielen. Trips to the right. Barton, your lone receiver to the left. Thielen wants to throw, looking for Barton in the end zone. And taken away from him.
Michael Cahoon, who was actually in the green and gold last season in this game, gets an interception for Lake City against the school he used to play for.
Barton had it initially, and before he could establish himself in it. Now, see, the thing to me is, if Barton has that in the end zone, as soon as he touches down, that's a touchdown, and it doesn't matter at that point. But I think Cahoon had his hands on the ball as well, which made it indeterminate until one of them came up with it, and Cahoon takes it away as they came down. And so the Trojans, they're going to actually mark this at the 1. I thought he was in the end zone. They're going to mark this at the 1.
And now Lake City doesn't need to take a play.
Yeah, they can't take a knee, but they don't have to take a play. You're absolutely right. That's going to do it. The Lake City Trojans are your Division 7 district champions, and they will play host to the Roscommon Bucks next week in a regional title game, looking to get back to the state semifinals and a possible rematch with Palamo Westphalia at that level. We'll take a break. Be back with some final thoughts and statistics from this one. 42-7, your final. The Trojans defeat the Ramblers. We'll be back right after this.
There are 3 kinds of people who get really happy when it snows a lot. Skiers, snowmobilers, and people who just bought a new LS tractor from Eagles Hardware in Falmouth. With a comfortable, roomy, heated cab, plenty of power, expert dealer service, and a 6-year limited warranty, moving snow is no longer a chore. It's a downright pleasure. The more you compare, the more you'll see why you can excel in your field with a new LS tractor from Eagles Hardware, family owned since 1920 in downtown Falmouth.
Officiating high school sports is a great way to stay involved and give back to today's kids the way others paid it forward. It's certainly not for everybody, but those fans can help officials by respecting the fact that they're out there for the kids, even when they see the game differently and probably correctly than you. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
In the small town of McBain lies a locally owned family pharmacy that takes pride in helping improve the health of every patient that comes through the door. At McBain Family Pharmacy, you're more than just a prescription. Here, you're family, and their experienced team of professionals are always available to answer any questions you may have regarding prescription and over-the-counter medications. McBain Family Pharmacy is your full-service family pharmacy for both traditional and compound medications. Call them today at 231-825-8175. That's 231-825-8175. Or stop by their store, located at 119 North Roland Street in McBain.
McBain Rural Agricultural Schools offers a quality, well-rounded education for the whole child. McBain students have a technological head start from the beginning with their own issued MacBook or iPad. Rambler students are immersed in strong curriculum, including access to a large variety of vocational programs, a winning athletics program, and access to a new state-of-the-art performing arts center. Challenging competitive times require a challenging competitive education. Give your child the McBain advantage. McBain Rural Agricultural Schools.
If you're a parent, you know how tough it is to find trustworthy daycare. Jesse's House Daycare in McBain is fully licensed, open weekdays from 7:30 until 5, and has part-time and full-time openings for ages birth to 12. With an outdoor playground area, a meal program, and 15 years experience caring for children of all ages, you can depend on Jesse's House to take great care of your child. Call 231-942-1405. 231-942-1405. Jesse's House Daycare, 985 West Falmouth Road, McBain.
Providing great service and quality to our customers, LC Materials is here for you and all your concrete and aggregate needs, both residential and commercial projects. We can assist you in estimates, sand and gravel needs, project details, and on-time delivery. LC Materials is also in Cadillac at the Concrete Store. The Concrete Store has building supplies, stone, block, tools, and other accessories to help you finish your project. So when you're ready, call LC Materials. We're ready when you are, online at lcmaterials.net.
Welcome back to Lake City High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye. Vanna, Zach Wiggins turning the dials for us back in the studio. 42-7, your final, as the Lake City Trojans defeat the McBain Ramblers to earn their second straight Division 7 District Championship. They advance to take on the Roscommon Bucks at the regional level in a contest that will be played right here at home for Lake City. So a great opportunity for the Trojans to advance to their second straight state semifinal. This broadcast brought to you in part by Jesse's House Daycare, Baker College, Ebel's General Store, and Dawn's Catering, High Point Cadillac GMC, and Taylor Mechanical. Our sincere thanks to each and every one of our advertisers, our broadcasters, our supporters, looking for the right term, for allowing us to bring you this broadcast. The post-game show brought to you by Northern Truck Service. Northern Truck Service has the best diesel mechanics in the area. Call Jen at 825-6008 to schedule your truck repair today. Well, Hawkeye, Trojans took the opening drive 63 yards, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 63 yards, finishing with a 16-yard touchdown pass to Taylor Butkovich to go up 7-0 quickly. And from there, well, it was largely the Lake City defense. They've only allowed 86 points all year, 48 of those in the last 2 games. But boy, they looked like the early Trojan defense, as they did not allow the Ramblers to get much of anything going, whether on the ground or through the air. Ramblers able to punch it in just once, that coming in the third quarter when Gavin Seelan ran it in from 2 yards out after a 13-play drive that chewed up 5 minutes of the third quarter to cut it to 28-7. The Ramblers actually got the ball back on an onside kick, but then turned it over on downs, and a couple of fourth quarter touchdowns, including a 48-yard touchdown pass, 52-yard touchdown pass to Devin Davis to start the fourth quarter, was enough to ice this one away. Matthew Holt goes off, touchdown run, and 2 touchdown runs and 3 touchdown passes to lead the Trojans to this 42-7 victory. What you got stat-wise there, Hawkeye, from the Ramblers on their last game here of the season?
Well, big stat discrepancy. McBain 230 yards passing to Lake City's 152, but Lake City 247 yards passing to McBain's 87.
On the ground?
On the ground, rushing yards. So Gavin Seelan led the rushing attack with 67 yards and the only touchdown. I have Justin Camphouse with 92 yards receiving. Gavin Seelan went 19 for, I don't like the way this one is set up, but he had 67 passing or rushing yards. That's why I always look at passing. Okay, 19 attempts for 67 passing yards, 1 touchdown along of 21 yards.
That's rushing.
Rushing.
Yeah.
Did I do that again?
That's right.
Logan Vandenboss, he had 6 carries for 39 rushing yards. The rest were insignificant on the rushing. Passing, Gavin Seelan, 230 yards passing, 17 for 38, just under 50%. But 3 interceptions, which I think is the total he had for the whole season. And he had 3 tonight. Defensively, they led by, or receiving led by Garrett. Justin Camphouse, 3 receptions, 92 yards. Garrett Verberkle, 7 receptions, 77 yards. Logan Ronabaugh, another 4 receptions for 30 yards. George Brown, the third, 1 reception for 20 yards, and Josh Hart with 1 reception for 9 yards. Tackling led by Bam Bam had 12 tackles. Garrett Berkmos had 6 tackles. Owen Bonico had 13 tackles. And that was basically the stats of the game.
Time for some post-game awards here in Lake City. 42-7 your final as the Trojans advance to the regional championship game. Time for the Judy K. Gildy Photography Picture Perfect Play of the game. And unfortunately for the Ramblers, not too many bright spots in this one, largely thanks to the Lake City Trojan defense and how well they played in this one. But that's why we pay Hawkeye the big bucks and make him make a decision anyway. Gary, what you got?
My Judy K. Gildy Picture Perfect Play came right after the touchdown and successful extra point was the George Brown III line drive kickoff to bounce off the up man for Lake City, recovered by Owen Bonico to give McBain a chance to really get the momentum more on their side. And that was my Judy K. Gildy Picture Perfect Play. It was the recovered of the onside kick.
Owen Bonico recovered that onside kick. Well, it was a semi-onside kick. Brown drilling one of the up men, getting it to land and come back to them. Also need to give out the George Johnson All-Heart Award in honor of former assistant varsity basketball coach and Uber fan George Johnson. Lost him last fall, but George's spirit lives on in the George Johnson All-Heart Award, given to the Rambler that best exemplifies the passion and just sheer enjoyment of the game that George Johnson brought in his lifetime as a Rambler fan. Hawkeye, what you got for that one?
That one's a tough one for me because I had a gut feeling of who I wanted to give it to, and then I'm looking at statistics. I'm wondering, am I looking at the wrong one? But I'm going to stick with my gut because I have a lot to stick with. And I'm going to give it to Logan Rodenbaugh, the captain.
Logan Rodenbaugh, your winner of the George Johnson All-Heart Award for his efforts tonight. Captain fighting to the very end there as he was still on the field and making a catch as the Ramblers tried to score toward the end of that game and coming up just shy. I want to make sure we thank all of our sponsors for their support of tonight's broadcast. Couldn't do it without them. If you get a chance to stop in and say hi to any of our sponsors, please do so. Make sure you thank them for their support of these broadcasts all season long. The Trojan coaching staff and team out in the middle of the field right now in prayer, and no doubt it's been an emotional season as well. We didn't mention it during the broadcast, which is I'm remiss for not doing so. Of course, head coach Kyle Smith's daughter Harper dealing with health issues, and it has been a source, a point of rallying for the Trojan family, the coaching staff, the players, and the community all season long. And the hashtag Harper Strong, you see it all over the community, and no doubt that will continue next week as the Roscommon Bucks come here. We're going to take one final break. We've got 2 more awards to give out. Of course, the all-important Hawkeye Player of the Game Award coming up. We'll take another quick break from Lake City High School and be back right after this.
Making the final arrangements for a loved one is never easy. At Burkholder Family Funeral Home in McBain, they can help you get through the process one step at a time. Serving the families in McBain and the surrounding communities for over 40 years, they take pride in providing exceptional services that families can actually afford. The caring and compassionate staff at Burkholder Family Funeral Home can help ease the burden. Burkholder Family Funeral Home. Visit them today at 211 North Pine Street in McBain or call 231-825-8191.
Your one-stop farm supply store is Falmouth Co-op in the heart of agriculture country. With locations at Falmouth and McBain, Falmouth Co-op has what you need to keep all your animals well-fed and healthy, plus bulk fuel and professional agronomy services like custom fertilizers and spraying and soil and grid sampling. Falmouth Co-op is your premier grain dealer and birdseed headquarters. And the McBain location has pizza, burgers, wings, and appetizers. Stop in today at either location in Falmouth and McBain. Falmouth Co-op is proud to support McBain's student athletes.
Kelly's Pizza and Grill in McBain would like to take this opportunity to thank their loyal customers for all their years of support. It's with your patronage that Kelly's Pizza and Grill can continue to support local schools, churches, and charities, not to mention keep serving up great tasting breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. Open 6 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 6 till 10. Always doing their best to serve the McBain community, Kelly's Pizza and Grill, 100 Maple Street in the heart of McBain.
When it's late, when it's snowing, when you just have to have it. It's nice knowing McNally's Party Store in downtown McBain is open 7 days a week, locally owned and operated with the friendliest cashiers helping to serve your grocery needs. From candy and chips to pop and munchies, McNally's Party Store, they're still keeping it cold. And wishing the McBain Ramblers good luck in tonight's game. That's McNally's Party Store in downtown McBain, open 7 days a week.
And welcome back one more time to Lake City High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna, Zach Wiggins turning the dials for us back in the studio. 42-7 your final as the Lake City Trojan community and players mingling out in the middle of the field. They are your Division 7 district champions, and they advance to take on the Roscommon Bucks right here at Lake City's field next week. Time and day to be determined, but I would assume, Roscommon not being all that far away, that it'll be Friday night at 7 o'clock. And we should point out, if you don't already know, you'll be able to listen to that game on our sister station, 107.9 The Drive. Rick Swanson and I assume Jordan Shepler will have the call for you over there, just like they had the call tonight. And you can follow along the Trojans as they attempt to get back to the state semifinals and a possible rematch with Palama Westphalia. But they got to get through the Bucks first, who won the Jack Pine Conference, went 8-1 on the season, lost only to Beaverton, and beat Iron Mountain tonight 22-7 to win their Division 7 district title. For the McBain Ramblers, a couple more items to note. And one of those is the Huttinga Electric lineman of the game. And the Ramblers, one of the bright spots tonight was the line play. The offensive line, when they wanted to throw, did a fairly decent job of keeping the Trojans off of Gavin Seelan, although they did roll him out quite a bit to try and free him up. But they have been a bright spot all season long, and the award has been dominated by a couple of particular players. But if I know my color analyst and broadcasting partner here well enough, I have an idea of how he's going to go with this one, but we'll see. What you got, Hawkeye?
No, you don't. You have no idea. Noah Bam Bam Henriksen is your Huttinga Electric lineman of the game by himself, solo.
Okay. I like the call. I like the call. There you go. Noah Hendrickson, 1/3 of the, well, 1/8 of the Killer Bees for the Ramblers is your Huttinga Electric lineman of the game. Yes, I will admit that is slightly different than what I was thinking, but it is in the neighborhood. We'll put it that way. Congratulations to Noah Hendrickson, winning the Huttinga Electric lineman of the game. Hawkeye, before we get to the most exciting 15 seconds in all of broadcasting, how about we talk about these Rambler seniors who have played their last football game in the green and gold?
Yeah, it's really going to be it's a bittersweet game, as we got some kids that have been through this program growing up here, and they're on their last lap, played the last football game of their career. So we got to give a shout out to number 1, Austin Abbott. Number 2, Justin Camphouse. Number 4, Cade Brown. Number 8, Auden Ealing. Number 11, Garrett Verberkmos. I should have these memorized. Number 34, Logan Rodenbaugh. Number 44, Noah Hendrickson. Number 51, Jacob Bovin. Number 55, Brendan Rose. And I believe that's all the seniors in their very last game.
Well, congratulations to those seniors. They did a fine job over the last few years in Rambler football, as we've had some fine ups and downs in McBain, but it ends here in Lake City as head coach Kyle Smith of the Lake City Trojans out at midfield with the district championship trophy. I think he's actually going to use the wireless mic that Jeff Hingston was using to address this family circle, as it encompasses literally, and I don't use that term loosely, the entire field, end zone to end zone. There are so many players, family members and community members in this family circle as he addresses the crowd right now. Well, time for the Taylor Mechanical Hawkeye Player of the Game as we award that for one final time. Gary, what you got?
Well, I am going to give a split award. You said the Taylor Mechanical, so my players of the game. Number 2, Justin Camphouse. Number 11, Garrett Verberkmos.
Justin Camphouse and Garrett Verberkmos, your Taylor Mechanical Hawkeye Players of the Game. Both of them doing a nice job reeling in passes from Gavin Seeland tonight are your Hawkeye Players of the Game. Make sure you stop by Senior's office and pick up whatever that giant award is that he hands out every week. I've never gotten to see it. So as Kyle Smith addresses the crowd, you can hear the public address system as he brings his seniors or players? Seniors into the middle with him with the district championship trophy. A nice little touch. Best of luck to the Trojans next week as they take on the Roscommon Bucks. Make sure you tune in. 107.1 The Drive. Rick Swanson, Jordan Shepler will have that call. Hawkeye, it's been a pleasure. It's been a lot of fun doing football with you this season. It's going to do it for us until January. And we will be back when we cover McBain Rambler, Northern Michigan Christian Comet basketball. We will have a slate of games, 8 to 10 games for you. Make sure you check out our Facebook page, and we'll have a schedule up there at some point to let you know when we're going to have those games for you as the Ramblers turn their attention to head coach Bruce Copeman and the basketball season.
And boys start practicing on Monday.
They do. That's great. He doesn't give them a day off? Well, we'll see what happens. It's Copeman. What am I thinking? That's going to do it for Zach Wiggins back in the studio, our producer and engineer. For Gary Hawkeye Vanna, I'm Jay Simon. Thanks for joining us tonight and all season long, folks, for McBain Rambler football, right here on your home for McBain Rambler Athletics, the all-new hit radio station 107.9 CDY.
Good night, boys.
This McBain Rambler football playoff broadcast has been sponsored on 107.9 CDY by Kelly's Pizza and Grill, McNally's Party Store, McBain Rural Agricultural School, McBain Auto Service, High Flow Performance, Crandall Precision.